Also available in Barbecue Zinger, limited time only. KFC Doritos Zinger, a crunch that's finger-licking good.
Ready to tackle that building project? Start right. Start here at H&L Rapid True Value for building supplies. The time by H&L Rapid True Value is
Nationwide time, 5 o'clock.
From the Nationwide News Network, comprehensive, incisive, tough. This is Nationwide at 5.
Good afternoon, I'm Ricardo Brooks.
And I'm Robianne Williams.
In Nationwide News at this hour, defense in Ruel Reid's fraud trial shocks court by urging the presiding judge to bring the trial to an immediate end.
The census says the majority of districts in Jamaica are now considered urban.
The embattled principal of St. James High, Joseph Williams, again under scrutiny as only 12% of his students earned grade 1 in recent CSEC exams.
Mocha has achieved a 93% conviction rate over the last 2 years.
Heavy rains expected across the island for the rest of the week.
In news from the rest of the world, Guyana's parliament says it will not provide immunity to opposition leader Azharuddin Mohammed.
Trump's Justice Department has charged another of his critics. This time it is former advisor John Bolton.
In headline sports, date set for historic women's international friendly between Jamaica and Trinidad and Tobago.
And later in our broadcast, in the cover story at 5:35, ETOC chairman Dr. Adrian Stokes says the implementation of recommendations from the Jamaica Education Transformation Commission is now about 32% complete. Dr. Stokes will join us.
In public opinion at 6:26, we ask, are you being overcharged by route taxi operators? Give us your comments by logging on to our Facebook page, Nationwide News Network, and by tweeting us at Nationwide Radio, and message us on WhatsApp at 876-285-5693. You can also leave your comments on Instagram at Nationwide 90FM.
At 7, dozens of reporters turned in their access badges and exited the U.S. Pentagon following new rules by the Defense Secretary that would leave them vulnerable to expulsion if they sought to report on information that had not been approved for release. You'll hear more.
And at 8, it's Jamaican Dads with Dennis Brooks, Garth Williams, Marlon Campbell, and Floyd Green.
All these and more as we take you home on air, on your mobile, Nationwide 90FM, RevoNews.ai, and on the Revo News app. It's available on the Google Play and the App Store. This Thursday afternoon, it's the final Nationwide at 5 from 6 Bradley Avenue, Thursday, October 16, 2025.
The hour is brought to you by the KFC Value Menu. Grab a chicken box, famous bowl, crunch sandwich, or small popcorn chicken with combos starting at just $620. KFC, it's finger licking good.
If it's news, it's got to be Nationwide 90 FM.
Now to the details. The defense in the multi-million-dollar fraud trial of former Education Minister Ruel Reid and the former president of the Caribbean Maritime University, CMU, Professor Fritz Pinnock, have urged the judge to bring the trial to an immediate end. Attorney Hugh Wildman told the presiding judge the proceedings are a nullity and should be terminated. It's the latest delay in the long-running legal saga. The 5 accused, Reid, Pinnock, Sharon Reid, Cheryl Reid, and Kim Brown Lawrence, are jointly charged in connection with alleged fraud at the CMU. They've pleaded not guilty. Robian Williams reports.
Lengthy submissions from the defense stalled the trial's progress after Hugh Wildman declared the indictment was defective. Wildman claimed 3 of the 5 accused are not properly before the court. The day's proceedings got underway with brief testimony from the brother of Ruel Reid's late driver. The witness confirmed that his brother frequently chauffeured Reid prior to his death in November 2020. His evidence was marked by the tendering of a funeral program as an exhibit. But the case was overtaken by the defense's perceived procedural dispute. Wildman told the court that the information grounding the order of indictment only referenced Reid and Pinnock. According to him, the charging document omitted Sharon Reid, Cheryl Reid, and Kim Brown Lawrence. Brown Lawrence is the Jamaica Labour Party councillor for the Brownstown Division in St. Anne. According to Wildman, this omission means the entire proceedings are void. Wildman told the parish court, the trial substantially is a nullity against these three persons. He continued, "What we have right now is a jurisdictional problem that cannot be cured. Only the Supreme Court can address it by the way of judicial review. This court cannot continue with a nullity." He added, "You can't stop and start over because you're dealing with a jurisdictional error. The trial has to come to an end." Wildman's submissions were adopted by fellow defense attorneys Oswest Senior Smith, Shannon Clark, Carolyn Chuck, and Anthony Armstrong. Armstrong added that the information on which the order was endorsed was irregular and did not properly reflect the charges against all defendants. But lead prosecutor Ashtel Steele rejected the defense's position, maintaining that the case is a single joint trial involving all accused persons. Steele countered, "There is nothing before the court to indicate that there needs to be several indictments. The order was made in relation to all accused persons on 35 counts. The three ladies are covered by virtue of the references in the indictment." Senior Parish Judge Sanchia Burrell noted that she was having some difficulty following aspects of the defense's arguments. The matter was adjourned with a ruling to be delivered at noon on Friday. Reed, Pinnock, Sharon Reed, Cheryl Reed, and Kim Brown Lawrence are facing several charges, including conspiracy to defraud, misconduct in public office, breaches of the Corruption Prevention Act, and breaches of the Proceeds of Crime Act. Robianne Williams for Nationwide News.
The majority of Jamaica's inhabited spaces are now considered urban areas. That's according to the 2022 Housing and Population Census. The country is now comprised of approximately 61% of urban districts. Aspects of the census were presented by the Statistical Institute of Jamaica yesterday. Siobhan Campbell tells us more.
The Statistical Institute of Jamaica, Staten, defines an urban area as a densely populated locality with at least 2,000 inhabitants. Staten says an urban area must also have a population density of 500 or more persons per square kilometer. The area must also have advanced socio-economic infrastructure. According to Staten, in its latest housing and population census, this now makes up the majority of Jamaica's inhabited areas. That's 61% compared to the 50% even split just a decade prior in 2011. The data shows that in 2011 there were 2,906 urban enumeration districts and 2,870 rural ones. By 2022, urban districts increased to 4,021, while rural districts fell to 2,590. The statistic also shows that the country is growing more densely populated despite a significant slowdown in overall population growth. Kingston is still considered the only parish which is 100% urban. St. Andrew follows with an urbanization rate of 90%. St. James, St. Catherine, and St. Anne are the remaining parishes which tilt toward urban districts at 75%, 71%, and 51% respectively. The parish with the most rural districts is Clarendon at 329. But St. Elizabeth has the highest percentage of rural districts at 74%. The parish has 281 rural enumeration districts out of a total of 376. Siobhan Campbell for Nationwide News.
The performance of students who sat the recent Caribbean Secondary Examination Certificate (CSEC) exams at St. James High School appears to provide ammunition to those demanding leadership changes at the institution. Of the over 1,100 students who wrote exams in 26 CSEC subjects in the May-June period this year, only 12% received a Grade 1. The majority of them registered Grade 3s. The results are a blow to those who have long defended the tenure of controversial Principal Joseph Williams and who often say that while his leadership style may be autocratic, students perform admirably in external exams. Dana Davey reports.
Successive boards of directors and controversial Principal Joseph Williams have been at daggers drawn at St. James High School over the last decade. At the center of the contention are allegations that Williams treats the school as his personal fiefdom and routinely sidelines the board and its chairman, which has oversight responsibility. The most recent public furor in March this year involved the padlocking of the school gate in protest over a decision by the Ministry of Education to resolve an ongoing conflict with the board through formal mediation. A month before, classes were suspended unilaterally by the principal after he engaged the board chairman, Christopher McCurdy, in a verbal altercation during a staff meeting. Supporters of Williams have argued that while the situation is untenable, the school has recorded improved performance under his leadership in CSEC exams. In an interview with Nationwide News in March, Executive Director of the National Council on Education, Maurice Murray, explained the dilemma.
Parents were afraid, they were mortified to send their children to St. James, to senior schools. And I guess now that's the reading, and it's now coming back. The board was changed, and it was headed by Simon Clark. And Simon Clark has international experience. He understood the dynamics of the school and the challenges. He's from the Montego Bay community. He understood the dynamics. So that is why maybe the board was somewhat conflicted in reviewing Mr. Williams, who had all these challenges but was able to impact student performance. That this is a dilemma that the ministry faces or continues to face.
But if the results of the most recent sitting of the CSEC exams are anything to go by, the improved performance argument doesn't hold. A total of 1,101 students sat the exams across 26 subject areas. The best grades were recorded in physical education and sport, with 58.82 passing with a grade 1 and 41.18% at grade 2. The next best outcome was recorded in textiles, clothing and fashion. 36.36 passed with grade 1, a similar percentage for grade 2, and 27.27 at grade 3. CSEC assesses students according to 5 grade levels, with 1, 2, and 3 being passes. In the critical subject area of mathematics, the vast majority of the 84 students who sat the exam failed. 48.8% received grades 4 and 5 in math. 1.19%, or almost 2%, received passes at grade 1, 13.1% received grade 2, and 26.19% got a grade 3. In English language, 34% of the 150 students who took the exam got grade 1, 38% got grade 2, and 20% received grade 3. The subjects where 50% of students passed with grade 2 included visual arts with 100%, principles of business 72.7%, family and resource management and food and nutrition both with 57.14%, and information technology with 50.28%. Dana Davey for Nationwide News.
You're listening to the news on Nationwide at 5. We'll have more after these.
See twice the style for less at IQ Optical. Buy one pair of glasses and get your second and third pair half price. Don't miss out. Call 876-929-7732 or visit IQ Optical today, where clarity never looked sharper.
The time by IQ Optical is
13 minutes after 5.
Rentokil Initial offers air purification solutions with triple filtration and unique auto-sensing capabilities that neutralizes malodor and replaces it with clean air. Call Rentokil Initial at 926-4236 for more details.
The temperature by Rentokil is
27 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 30 out west in Montego Bay.
Every school is free of unhealthy, ultra-processed products. You know, those high in salt, fats, and sugar. If only that weren't a dream. The reality is that many children have an unhealthy diet at school, and 23% of them are overweight or obese. This can lead to hypertension, heart disease, and type 2 diabetes. Let's protect our children's right to health with a policy for schools that prevents unhealthy food marketing and ensures access to nutritious foods. The time is now. Let's implement the National School Nutrition Policy. A message from the Heart Foundation of Jamaica and partners.
Continuing the news, the chairman of the Education Transformation Oversight Committee, ETOC, Dr. Adrian Stokes, is hailing the push by stakeholders in the sector to improve student performance in mathematics and English language. Dr. Stokes was speaking today at a media briefing in St. Andrew.
I'm very happy that the big push by all the stakeholders resulted in a 5 percentage points movement in mathematics to a national pass rate of 46% and a 8 percentage points movement in English language to a national average of 84%. While the goal of 50% was not achieved for mathematics, what's commendable to me is a significant improvement in the national average. To move anything by 500 basis points on a large scale takes a lot of work.
The Education Ministry had set a target to improve the pass rate for mathematics from 40 to 50%. The goal was to move the English language pass rate from 77% to over 80%. Dr. Stokes says while progress has been made, there's still a lot of work to be done.
We are in the third year of the transformation journey. A lot of work has been done to date, but we still have many more initiatives to implement before we can say we have fundamentally changed our education trajectory for the better. Root issues like board governance must be dealt with decisively, and we are happy that the ministry and minister are moving to deal with this.
Dr. Adrian Stokes, the chairman of the Education Transformation Oversight Committee, ETOC.
A new policy for students with special needs is set to be taken to Cabinet shortly. Education Minister Dr. Dana Morris-Dixon made the announcement on Thursday.
The issue of our children with disabilities or special needs is really an area of emphasis for the ministry. I'm very happy to tell you that we're about to go to Cabinet with a new special needs policy. And in that policy, it speaks about the importance of us resourcing those schools appropriately, having the kind of adaptive technology incorporated in your school.
In recent times, the ministry has highlighted its commitment to strengthening special education. This includes the implementation of a new special needs policy. Strengthening teacher training in special needs education will be one of the main areas of focus of the new policy. Minister Morris-Dixon spoke to the ways the ministry is seeking to foster inclusivity for children with special needs.
Already, for all of our exams, we are doing quite a bit. There are accommodations that are made for all our students who may be blind or even have other areas of disability. We accommodate them in PEP, and so we'll do the exam papers in Braille and in CSEC too. The key for us is having an inclusive Jamaica in terms of our education system, and so we have committed to that through having an actual policy that's going through Cabinet, and we're going to lay it as a green paper in Parliament. So look out for that in the coming weeks.
Dr. Dana Morris-Dixon, Minister of Education.
The Major Organized Crime and Anti-Corruption Agency, MOCA, has achieved a 93% conviction rate over the last 2 years. The National Security Minister, Dr. Horace Chang, hailed the success as proof of MOCA's vital role in safeguarding Jamaica's national security.
The work they're doing has changed very dramatically, but they've also made a success. In the area of anti-corruption, so far, MOCA is the only body that has successfully prosecuted complex corruption cases. MOCA has some very outstanding cases. They take time, but that's what corruption does. It requires a discipline and professionalism that have to go through time.
That's Dr. Horace Chang, the National Security Minister.
Heavy rains and thunderstorms are expected across sections of the island for the remainder of the week. The Met Service says the heavy rains are as a result of a cold front projected to stall just north of the country today, Thursday. The cold front is forecast to linger until Friday. A trough is then expected to move into the vicinity of the island and remain throughout the weekend. As a result, the forecast is for cloudy conditions with periods of showers and thunderstorms to affect sections of northern parishes. The Met Service says fishers on the Keys and Banks, especially those on the north coast, are urged to exercise extreme caution as sea conditions will deteriorate.
World in a Minute is brought to you by ABC Electrical Sales. We make things as easy as ABC. Hose Assembly and Supply, equipping Jamaica for success.
And Charles O'Connor Consulting Network, COCN, driven by international accounting standards, modern technology, and integrity.
The world in a minute.
Guyana's vice president says serving in the parliament would not provide immunity to opposition leader Arudin Mohammed. Arudin and his father Nazir were indicted this month by a Florida court on 11 charges, including fraud, money laundering, and bribery related to gold exports. The men have been under U.S. sanctions since last year. Azruddin is positioned to be sworn in as Guyana's opposition leader by November after his political party won 16 parliamentary seats in the general election last month. Despite Azruddin's political status, they both could be extradited to the U.S. once authorities formally make the request. If an extradition request is granted, the businessmen would have the right to challenge it in Guyanese court.
Former National Security Advisor to Donald Trump, John Bolton, has been criminally indicted on federal charges and is facing decades in prison. Trump's Department of Justice presented a case to a grand jury in Maryland on Thursday. It comes after FBI agents searched Bolton's home and office in August as part of an investigation into the handling of classified information. The indictment makes Bolton the third of the U.S. president's political opponents to face charges in recent weeks. He follows former FBI Director James Comey and New York Attorney General Letitia James. Bolton is charged with 8 counts of transmitting and 10 counts of unlawful retention of National Defense Information, NDI. Prosecutors accuse him of illegally transmitting top-secret information about U.S. national defense using his personal email and other messaging apps. If found guilty, he could face up to 10 years in prison for each charge.
World in a Minute was brought to you by ABC Electrical Sales. We make things as easy as ABC. Hose Assembly and Supply, equipping Jamaica for success.
And Charles O'Connor Consulting Network, COCN, driven by international accounting standards, modern technology, and integrity.
Recapping the top stories making nationwide news at this hour, the defense in Ruel Reid's fraud trial shocks the court by urging the presiding judge to bring the trial to an immediate end.
The census says majority of districts in Jamaica are now considered urban.
The embattled principal of St. James High, Joseph Williams, again under scrutiny as only 12% of his students earned grade 1 in the recent CSEC exams.
Mocha has achieved a 93% conviction rate over the last 2 years.
I'm Ricardo Brooks.
And I'm Robianne Williams.
Listeners, you can find the news on our website at rivanews.ai and on the Riva News app. It's available on the Google Play and the App Store. News next, the headlines at 6. That was our last 5 p.m. newscast from this location.
6 Bradley Avenue.
How you feel?
Emotional?
You'll hear us again on Sunday at 5 p.m. The headlines are at 6.
Doritos and KFC, cheesy, delicious, crunchy. New collaboration, run the country. Doritos Zinger, hot and spicy. Doritos nacho cheese chips, cheddar cheese sauce. We not leave it. KFC with the extra crunch. The new Doritos Zinger, I want for lunch. The new KFC Doritos Zinger, the delicious combination of KFC's hot and spicy Zinger and the irresistible flavor of Doritos. Available for a limited time. KFC and Doritos, a crunch that's finger-licking good.
Why free? Every community, the citizen security plan, yeah, it need all our way. Yo, make your vote. Everybody want a safer country right now. Why free? Every community, the citizen security plan, yeah, it need all our way. Yo, make your vote. Every Jamaican proud to turn it up. Stand up. That one a name CSP. One up. Marcus education and the key. Stand up. Crime prevention better than cure. Lock the gun there. Open more door. The youth them and the future check them heads as well. Professional help protect their mental health. Squaddy everybody a link and give a strength. Everybody a la government unity strength. Every community, the citizen security plan, yeah, it need all our way. Yo, make your vote. Everybody want a safer country right now.
The Citizen Security Plan is an initiative of the Ministry of National Security in partnership with the European Union.
It's an all-of-government effort to create safer streets and build stronger communities. Go to mns.gov.jm to learn how you can play your part.
Sports at 5 is brought to you by Total Tools. Total Tools, every tool, every trade.
Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to Sports here on Nationwide 90 FM. I'm Wayne Walker. Jamaica's senior women's football team will play away to regional rivals Trinidad and Tobago in an international friendly on October 28th. Match will serve as a crucial preparation for both teams ahead of upcoming FIFA Women's World Cup qualifiers kicking off next month. However, the Reggae Girls will be without several first-team regulars due to a combination of injuries, club commitments, and personal reasons. Despite the absence, head coach Hubert Busby remains optimistic about the team's prospects and sees the match as a key opportunity for new talent to emerge.
We've used the opportunities to maintain a core of players. Players aren't available due to injury or personal reasons. We've respected that heading into other games, and it's allowed for us to build our core group of players, and you've seen a lot of those players. There are players like Tiana Harris who we're bringing in, who is a player we've been following now for a while. She's been playing in France and she's doing well in Portugal, so it was a great opportunity to bring her in. You look at Gabrielle Gale, who was doing well in Mexico, and she's a local-born player that we want to see how she's kind of progressed on in the last year and a half playing abroad. And then you have someone like Jaylee McPherson, who's a captain of our U20s, whose last time she was in with Mexico, but we feel compelled what she's doing in college as well.
Head coach of the national women's football team, Hubert Busby, Trinidad and Tobago, like Jamaica, are also using the game to fine-tune their squad and tactic as they prepare for what's expected to be a challenging qualification campaign. Busby emphasized that while the match is technically a friendly, it carries significant importance.
As you know, that's a great rivalry between us and Trinidad, their biggest Caribbean rival. And, they're in the midst of their preparation as a seeded team as well. So we look forward to that game as a big match and test prior to our qualifying matches.
Hubert Busby. The United Arab Emirates defeated Japan by 8 wickets to capture the final qualification spot for the 2026 ICC Men's T20 World Cup. Scores in the game: Japan won 116 for 9, the UAE won 18 for 2. With the victory, UAE now they joined the pair of Oman and Nepal as countries to book their spots from the Asian qualifiers. In addition to the two hosts, India and Sri Lanka already booking their spots. Other teams to secure their place: England, Australia, Afghanistan, Bangladesh, South Africa, USA and the West Indies. The tournament is set for February and March of next year. Australia women's cricketers were in a no-nonsense mood on Thursday. They thrashed the struggling Bangladesh by 10 wickets in the ICC Women's ODI World Cup in India. With the victory, the Aussies punched their ticket to the Final Four at the tournament.
Australia are through to the semi-finals with a dominating, a thumping win over Bangladesh here in Vizag. It's the opening partnership that was enough. Australia win by 10 wickets. Skipper amongst the runs, Phoebe Litchfield, carrying on the good form, and it's a happy dugout.
Bangladesh batted first. They scored 198 for 9. In reply, Australia's opening pair of Phoebe Litchfield and Alice Healy made light work of the target. They reached 202 without loss. It was a high successful run chase without losing a wicket at a Women's World Cup, and the second highest in Women's ODI. Litchfield made 84. Healy scored her second century on the trot, cracking 113 from 77 balls. Action will continue on Friday. South Africa against Sri Lanka. The game is set to bowl off at 4 o'clock in the morning, Jamaica time. Finally, in sports at this time, Serbia's tennis superstar Novak Djokovic has insisted that he has no intention to retire from the sport anytime soon. The 38-year-old is joint leader with the former Australian star Margaret Court for most Grand Slam titles. They've got 24 apiece. Djokovic shared that greats from other sports have given him inspiration to prolong his playing days.
Longevity is one of my biggest motivations. I really want to see how far I can go, and I think if you see across all the the global sports, LeBron James, he's still going strong. He's 40. Cristiano Ronaldo, Tom Brady played till he was 40 something years old. I mean, it's unbelievable. They're inspiring me as well. So I want to keep going, and that's one of the motivations I have. And then I want to also live meaning still keep on playing professionally, to see the change that is coming for our sport. And I'm super excited about it.
Djokovic's last Grand Slam came over 2 years ago. He defeated Daniil Medvedev 6-3, 7-6, 6-3 to win the US Open at Flushing Meadows in New York. And that will do it for sports. We're going to be back with more at 6:05.
Sports at 5 was brought to you by Total Tools. Total Tools, every tool, every trade. From Kingston to the world, from Montego Bay to new adventures, and from Ocherias to endless possibilities. Wherever you're headed, we will proudly take you there. Jamaica's airport, your global gateway. The temperature brought to you by the Airports Authority of Jamaica is
27 degrees Celsius here in the nation's capital, Kingston. It's a 30 in the western city, Montego Bay.
MSME operators, the NWC MSME Amnesty is a lifeline. Grab it. Apply between September 1 and November 30, 2025. Visit nwcjamaica.com. Email us at customercare@nwc.com.jm. You can also visit any commercial office or dial 888-NWC. Get a 50% debt write-off on your small commercial account if you pay all other outstanding debts or sign a payment agreement to do so in 3 months. Apply today.
Is your money idling when it could be thriving? With CIBC Caribbean's fixed deposit offering, you can take charge of your cash. With 50,000 Jamaican to start, choose terms from 30 days to 2 years. Lock in your funds and enjoy premium rates guaranteed to grow your wealth. Whether you're eyeing short or long-term gains, our fixed deposit account puts you firmly in control of your money. Now is the time to open a CIBC fixed deposit account and start earning more today. CIBC, ambitions made real.
Everybody needs a helping hand, somebody to understand. In the end, we're all human. For people living with HIV, no discrimination. Here to support them through. Respect you as usual. Got to protect them too. When are your friend or your family? Somebody in your community. People living with HIV. Protect, accept, and respect people living with HIV. A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
MSME operator, the NWC MSME Amnesty is a lifeline. Grab it. Apply between September 1 and November 30, 2025. Visit nwcjamaica.com. Email us at customercare@nwc.com.jm. You can also visit any commercial office or dial 888-NWC. Get a 50% debt write-off on your small commercial account if you pay all other outstanding debts or sign a payment agreement to do so in 3 months. Apply today.
I'm Dennis Brooks.
I'm Alan Campbell.
I'm Floyd Green.
And I'm Garth Williams. Catch us on the Jamaican Dads podcast right here on Nationwide 90 FM, Thursdays at 8 p.m. with a repeat on Sundays at 6 p.m.
The Jamaican Dads podcast is all about providing men with a healthy, safe, and functional forum to tackle many of the taboo topics that concern our masculinity.
Like everyone else out there, we're dads of varying amounts of experience who come from different backgrounds and often view the world differently.
We're definitely not perfect, but we are all brethren and we're all committed to this piece of rock called Jamaica.
Too often, there are no safe spaces for men to explore the issues which are important to us.
Plus, most of the content out there about parenthood is produced by women, for women. So we think it is important that we be the change we want to see.
Follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Jamaican Dads with a Z.
And definitely join us here on Nationwide 90 FM every Thursday at 8 p.m. with a repeat on Sundays at 6 p.m. for the Jamaican Dads podcast. It's a revolution in media.
To facilitate Nationwide's transition to a new location, or live programming will be disrupted starting Friday, October 17 at 1 p.m. We resume live broadcasting on Tuesday, October 21, 2025. The Mayor's Parlor will be aired on Sunday, October 19, starting at 12 noon. We apologize for any inconvenience these changes may cause.
As a parent, you give your children a good start in life. You nurture, protect, and guide them. Parenting is a process that prepares your child for independence. As your child grows and develops, there are many things you can do to help your child. Stay tuned to The Big Show, nationwide this morning for parenting tips. Fridays at 6:53 a.m. Only here will you learn everything you need to know about parenting. Tips to help parents navigate the incredibly challenging and rewarding journey of child rearing. Parenting tips on Nationwide at 90 FM, the revolution in media.
Public opinion. Stop this foolish about this GLP and PMP business. We all are Jamaican. Different people.
It's not a matter of a GLP or a PMP. I think it's more like where it is that you think you're comfortable, what support you can afford to make the country better.
Different views.
Most entertainers, they're not amenable to management, so the only thing that can ultimately structure them is the court and the prison.
Public opinion. The voice of the people at 6:25 p.m. weekdays during Nationwide at 5. Tune into Nationwide at 6:25 p.m. for Public Opinion, where the people's views matter.
Public Opinion is brought to you by Cleasing Industrial Supplies Limited, Industrial Automation and Control Solutions.
Cover Story is brought to you by
Multilink. Roll with control. Use Multilink. Safe, fast, and accepted in more locations.
Multi-Link, access every time, everywhere I go. Multi-Link, 24/7 access for me. It's just a win-win when we use Multi-Link. This card is Jamaican built, yeah. Fast and secure, you can use anywhere. Spend while supporting the economy.
Look for the Multi-Link logo on your card and benefit from Jamaica's largest debit payment network.
Multi-Link, 24/7 access for me.
What would I do without my Multi-Link?
Good afternoon to you. Thank you so much for joining us here on Nationwide at 5. It's time for the cover story. My name is Ricardo Brooks.
And my name is Sanjay Lewis. Good afternoon to you, Ricardo, and good afternoon to our listeners. And this afternoon for the cover story, we're looking at that ETOC press conference and to get further information. And that's because the chairman of the Education Transformation Oversight Committee, that's ETOC, Dr. Adrian Stokes, says the implementation of recommendations from the Jamaica Education Transformation Commission is now about 32% complete. He was speaking earlier on Thursday at a media briefing in St. Andrew. ETOC has been given the responsibility to monitor the implementation of 365 recommendations contained in the report from the Commission.
Now, Dr. Stokes says implementation is on track, and that's very good news. And he's saying it's concerning, meanwhile, that the Jamaica Teaching Council bill is still not law. The Education Minister, Dr. Dana Morris Dixon, says another consultation session will be held with stakeholders next month to discuss the bill.
On November 16, we are bringing together all of the key stakeholders for us to again look at the JTC bill. The JTA has given some comments. The church has also given some comments. So remember, it's not just one stakeholder here. And we as ministry, we have to listen to everybody. In that meeting, what we will do is we will go through the concerns, because the JTA's concerns actually look different than some of the other stakeholders. We need to move forward. This is something that for over 20 years we've been working at, and we need to finish it and have a bill. We can always change later on and add new elements to it.
That's Dr. Dana Morris Dixon, the Education Minister.
Well, Dr. Stokes now joins us. Good afternoon, Dr. Stokes.
Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody.
Thank you, as always. Well, Dr. Stokes, 32% complete. What does that figure represent in practical terms?
Well, we are a little over a third of the way in terms of implementing the recommendations. We are 3 years into the implementation program. We are seeing steady progress. We are beginning to see some fruits from that labor. Notwithstanding, much of the work remains, and we have to stay the course and ensure that there is no implementation fatigue as we move to some of the more difficult recommendations coming from the Patterson report.
Mm. And I mean, those difficult areas, what are those that you think are going to pose the greatest challenge?
I mean, there are a number of them. Recommendations, for example, that relate to improving the cadre of students going into teacher training institutions. That's going to be an impactful one, but it's going to take a lot of work. It's also going to require government policy to improve the overall reward and recognition program for teachers. You're not going to be able to materially improve the teaching pool without materially incentivizing our best people to become teachers. If you look at countries like Singapore, this is what they have done. The teaching profession is highly sought after by the best students because of the not just reward and recognition, but generally it is held to a very decent profile within the country. We too need to elevate the teaching profession to that level if we expect to replicate what the Singaporeans have done for their country.
But Dr. Stokes, I agree with you, and I think most Jamaicans agree with you that we should be attracting the best and the brightest to be teachers. The Jamaica Teaching Council bill, though, obviously is necessary to ensure accountability from that stakeholder group in the education sector. You express your disappointment that we haven't gotten further. Is hope dimming for you? How are you seeing these repeated delays?
No, I mean, it's very understandable why the timeline to implement the bill has been extended. It's concerning nonetheless because sometimes things can slip and, before you know it, we are, a couple of years down the road and we still haven't implemented a bill, right? So, what I said today at the press conference to the minister, and I'm saying publicly to all of our stakeholders, let's not try to get a perfect bill. We shouldn't let the perfect be the enemy of the good, right? If we have a bill that's good enough, let's implement the bill. There will be further opportunities to modify, to change, to improve once we have gotten some learnings from the operationalization of the bill, right? So that's what we should do, right? Let's not stake out positions and have never-ending fights about what should be in, what should be out, and so on. Let's get going, right? And let us adjust while we learn about the provisions that are included or should be included in the bill.
Yeah. Help us to understand, Dr. Stokes, why is its passage, this bill, its passage so critical to the education transformation process?
Well, if you look at other professions, there are clear regulations that guide how they operate. For example, the attorneys, right? It is very important in terms of what we call the professionalization of the teaching profession, right? You need to have clear rules about who can become a teacher, what are the guidelines that a teacher should uphold, and so on. Again, not very different from professions that we take very seriously in our country, and teaching is one such profession, right? So it's very, very important to have this teaching council bill. But as I said at the top of the program, we are entering the implementation phase where some of the recommendations are going to be sensitive and painful to various stakeholder grouping. But again, that's the nature of transformation, right? When you're changing is never easy. Not everybody's going to come along or even come along at the same pace. You will have some pain, at least at the get-go. But like working in the gym, if you're consistent and you have a good trainer, then things become a lot easier going forward. And that's the same thing I expect to happen with the teaching council bill. So let us consult, but we can't have endless consultation and nothing happens. So that's the concern.
Right. Obviously, the education minister is central to the consultation process, but ultimately the teachers may see her as a politician. Would you be willing to do some more outreach to the JTA to sort of soften, tensions where they exist?
Well, anything that I can do to help, anything that ETalk broadly can do to help, certainly we will play that role. Politicians are important in the process. Mm-hmm. They are elected. Absolutely. They have a mandate. They are, responsible for, major things in our country, like education.
Yes.
And so, they're not to be taken out of the process. But nonetheless, anything that ETalk can do to assist the process, we stand ready to do so.
Yeah. Hold it there, Foster. Up on the break, we're talking with the chairman of the Education Transformation Committee. They're making progress, and he's giving us a report.
Protecting your personal data is a priority for the Jamaica Customs Agency. We urge you to use the agency's official platforms to conduct your business. The time by the Jamaica Customs Agency is
15 minutes to 6.
One box, full belly. The Bird Shack Fried Chicken Flex Box has it all. Sandwich, wings, or chicken, wedges or fries, coleslaw plus a drink. Only $1,800. Best value in the streets. Flex Smart.
The temperature brought to you by Bird Shack Fried Chicken is
27 degrees Celsius in Kingston. Ooh, it's cool. And 29 out west in Montego Bay.
Doritos and KFC, cheesy, delicious, crunchy, new collaboration, run the country. Doritos Zinger, hot and spicy. Doritos nacho cheese chips, cheddar cheese sauce. We not leave it. KFC with the extra crunch. The new Doritos Zinger, I want for lunch. The new KFC Doritos Zinger, the delicious combination of KFC's hot and spicy zinger and the irresistible flavor of Doritos. Available for a limited time. KFC and Doritos, a crunch that's finger-licking good.
Need to make a change to your title or need a title? GLand Title Limited is the place to be. They do lost title application, add and remove names from titles, wills, estates, first-time registration, land surveys included, affordable rates and flexible payment options, National Land Agency adjudication and land titling waivers available. They have 8 locations island-wide. Call 876-754-6436 or visit their website at glandonline.com. GLand Title Limited. Secure your land, secure your title.
Welcome back to Nationwide at 5. We have with us Dr. Adrian Stokes. He's a chairman of the Education Transformation Oversight Committee, ETalk. I want to drill down now into some of those key points that you've hit to comprise this 32%, the milestones. Dr. Stokes, what are some of those?
Right. So, across the board, when you look at the teacher training, that's very important what's happening, and very important to improving overall education outcomes. And, a number of teachers have been trained for the new school year, and training needs to become one of the key pillars of transformation going forward, and they're doing that, so that's very good. Continuing to provide funding to improve the technology component of transformation, investing in equipment and generally providing infrastructure, broadband infrastructure, and so on to support the technological component of education is very important. School governance, very, very important. Jamaica operates a relatively decentralized governance system. School boards play a very, very important role. When you look at the performance of schools, that performance correlates highly with the quality of the board. So improving our school boards is something that the ministry, ETalk, is very focused on. I'm very happy that the ministry has done a lot of work to broaden or at least increase the possibility of Jamaicans to apply to be school board members. Mm-hmm. They have now set up a portal where Jamaicans can go and look at the various schools and put in their application, and those applications will be assessed and based on competencies and the specific needs of schools. Directors will be chosen. Very, very important, and that is something that I want to commend all involved to get that portal up and running and to begin to publicize and to get actual applications in to improve the quality that we have. That's very, very important, right? Improving the quality is something that we're going after, and that portal and the general dissemination of information, getting it out there so that people can apply. I'm looking forward to see governance improve in our schools.
And of the 365 recommendations, how many have been fully implemented versus those still in progress or pending?
So 18 recommendations have been fully implemented, and 171 are still ongoing, and we still have some yet to begin, which we will start in coming quarters.
And how does ETOC measure success or impact for each completed recommendation?
So there are two questions. One is just implementing the recommendation, and there's a clear project management discipline rigor around implementation, right? That framework has been developed and established in the ministry. There's a project manager. There are a very clear project infrastructure to implement. So that's one. And then secondly is going into the test and to look at what is now being produced from that particular initiative being fully implemented, which sometimes you won't see initially, but you will begin to see the fruits over time, right? One of the things that I want to again highlight, we have spoken about it before, but last school year we had a discussion with the ministry around focusing resources on high-risk schools that are not doing so well in key subject areas, maths and English. And I'm very happy with what they have done. There was significant strategic focus on providing, for example, lunch, breakfast, transportation, just doing extra work with the kids, providing the resources so the schools could dive and provide extended learning hours for the kids. And that led to a material improvement in English and math classes for the year that just concluded. And what I see the ministry doing is to build on that success and, building in or, leveraging centers of excellence, for example, at the University of the West Indies to get math experts to provide coaching and general teaching. And in some instances, graduates going into our schools to support math education. And so we are beginning to see early success from some of these measures. But again, for transformation to work, we must cement the initiatives, and importantly, we must be able to scale the success that we are beginning to see. Mm-hmm. So we will see over time. Yeah. Right. You're not going to see everything just yet because it's very, very difficult to turn around a mothership like education in just 2 or 3 years. It's going to take some time.
Mm-hmm. One of the things I've been thinking about, Dr. Stokes, is the stakeholder buying, and we talked about the teachers, but obviously there are other stakeholders, parents, for example, the students themselves. I imagine ETOC has ongoing consultations with the stakeholders. What's been some of the responses you're getting from them as you push through?
Well, one of the things that we've been doing, and personally, I've been traveling the country and going to some of the schools, mostly in the very deep rural areas, to talk to the board members, the principals, teachers, and parents where possible. What I've picked up so far, that people are engaged. People are motivated. People want to do well. Yes. There are binding constraints when you go on the ground and you see things like, there are psychosocial issues, real issues, that prevent kids from learning. The ministry is trying. They're doing a lot. For example, around breakfast, transportation, various issues in the household, that they're trying to make a dent.
Which affect the teaching and learning.
Which affect the teaching and learning. So one big takeaway is that obviously what happens in the schools is very, very important. But outside of the school environment, when you get to the homes, you get to the communities, that's where we also need to focus resources and energy, because that's very, very important in producing an education system that will be able to compete globally.
Mm-hmm. And you mentioned that you've been around some of the schools. What kind of feedback have you been receiving from, for example, the school boards, the unions, and just generally the educators?
So, as I said, the feedback is positive. No one is against transformation. What you may have disagreements on approaches.
Yeah.
You may have, someone saying, let's not do this, let's try another initiative and so on. But everyone recognizes that change is necessary, right? Given where we are, the low point that we're starting from, right? So that's good. That's a start, right? That's a start. And the key is, once you begin to see success and you begin to celebrate that success, then you will build momentum and there will be a groundswell. And that's where you're going to see a lot of persons coming on board and get us on a trajectory that's going to be very, very difficult to reverse.
Yeah, obviously, Dr. Stokes, this is a very involved process. It's a massive effort. Are you prepared to see it through?
So it's really not about me. It's really first and foremost about the infrastructure that is being put in place. It's so far so good. There's still some construction to do, but we have great Jamaicans, and we really need to get everybody involved. We need to get people need to come off the fence, get involved and give of your expertise to this work that we're doing. And going forward, if it's not me, there are other great Jamaicans that can do an even better job as we try to move this thing forward. It's critical to the country's national development that we get education right.
Yeah, I suspect that diplomacy will serve you well, sir. Thank you so much, Dr. Stokes.
All the best.
Take care. Cheers.
Dr. Adrian Stokes, the chairman of the Education Transformation Oversight Committee, ETOC. He's right, Sanjay.
Yep.
If we don't get this right, we're not going to get anything else right. We have to fix education.
It's a lot of heavy lifting, Ricardo, but it's necessary if we really want to transform the education sector. And I mean, it's not something that can be done in 2 or 3 years. It's a lot of work to be done. Good work so far, much to be done.
Yeah.
Going forward, yeah.
That's the cover story. The headlines are next.
Cover story was brought to you by
Multilink. Roll with control. Use Multilink. Safe, fast, and accepted in more locations. The hour was brought to you by the new Doritos Zinger from KFC. The delicious combination of KFC's hot and spicy Zinger and Doritos. Also available in Barbecue Zinger, limited time only. KFC Doritos Zinger, a crunch that's finger-licking good.
The time brought to you by Guardian Life. Live secure, live easy is
6 o'clock.
Nationwide headlines at 6.
Good evening with the headlines at 6. I'm Shalois Michael. Chairman of the Education Transformation Oversight Committee, ETOC, Dr. Adrian Stokes, is hailing the push by stakeholders in the sector to improve student performance in mathematics and English language. Dr. Stokes was speaking on Thursday at a media briefing in St. Andrew.
I'm very happy that the big push by all the stakeholders resulted in a 5 percentage points movement in mathematics to a national pass rate of 46% and a 8 percentage points movement in English language to a national average of 84%. While the goal of 50% was not achieved for mathematics, what's commendable to me is a significant improvement in the national average. To move anything by 500 basis points on a large scale takes a lot of work.
The Education Ministry had set a target to improve the pass rate for mathematics from 40 to 50%. The goal was to move the English language pass rate from 77% to over 80%. Dr. Stokes says while progress has been made, there is still a lot of work to be done.
We are in the third year of the transformation journey. A lot of work has been done to date, but we still have many more initiatives to implement before we can say we have fundamentally changed our education trajectory for the better. Root issues like board governance must be dealt with decisively, and we are happy that the ministry and minister are moving to deal with this.
Dr. Adrian Stokes, the chairman of ETOC. A new policy for students with special needs is set to be taken to Cabinet shortly. Education Minister Dr. Dana Morris-Dixon made the announcement on Thursday.
The issue of our children with disabilities or special needs is really an area of emphasis for the ministry. And I'm very happy to tell you that we're about to go to Cabinet with a new special needs policy. And in that policy, it speaks about the importance of us resourcing those schools appropriately, having the kind of adaptive technology incorporated in your school.
In recent times, the ministry has highlighted its commitment to strengthening special education. This includes the implementation of a new special needs policy. Strengthening teacher training in special needs education will be one of the main areas of focus of the new policy. Minister Morris-Dixon spoke to the ways the ministry is seeking to foster inclusivity for children with special needs.
Already, for all of our exams, we are doing quite a bit. There are accommodations that are made for all our students who may be blind or even have other areas of disability. We accommodate them in PEP, and so we'll do the exam papers in Braille and in CSEC too. The key for us is having an inclusive Jamaica in terms of our education system, and so we have committed to that through having an actual policy that's going through Cabinet, and we're going to lay it as a green paper in Parliament. So look out for that in the coming weeks.
Dr. Dana Morris-Dixon, Minister of Education. The major organized crime and anti-corruption agency, MOCA, has achieved a 93% conviction rate over the last 2 years. National Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang hailed the success as a proof of MOCA's vital role in safeguarding Jamaica's national security.
The work they're doing has changed very dramatically, but they've also had some major success. In the area of anti-corruption, so far MOCA is the only body that has successfully prosecuted complex corruption cases. MOCA has some very outstanding cases. They take time, but that's what corruption does. It requires a discipline and professionalism that have to go through time.
The 2-year period saw the agency successfully prosecuting 30 out of 32 cases. The most recent case involved a multi-million-dollar fraud uncovered at the Institute of Sports in Sports. The 3 men were found guilty last month. All 3 were said to have been part of a team of former employees at the Institute who wrote, signed, and cashed fraudulent checks for payees who were neither employees nor contracted workers for the entity. Minister Chang says MOCA is also emerging as the key agency tackling cyber crimes.
It has certainly become the primary agency that deals with cybercrime. The police have the CFCD, and we have support in the JDF, but the agencies have demonstrated the skill, the talent, and the capital to respond in a timely manner to cyber attacks is MOCA.
Dr. Horace Chang, Minister of National Security. Heavy rains and thunderstorms are expected across sections of the island for the remainder of the week. The Met Service says the heavy rains are as a result of a cold front projected to stall just to the north of the country. The cold front is forecast to linger until Friday. A trough is then expected to move into the vicinity of the island and remain throughout the weekend. As a result, the forecast is for cloudy conditions with periods of showers and thunderstorms to affect sections of northern parishes. Those were the headlines at 6. I'm Shaloy Smichael. Sports is next.
Doritos and KFC, cheesy delicious, crunchy, new collaboration run the country. Doritos Zinger, hot and spicy. Doritos nacho cheese chips, cheddar cheese sauce. We not leave it, KFC with the extra crunch. The new Doritos Zinger, I want for lunch. The new KFC Doritos Zinger, the delicious combination of KFC's hot and spicy zinger and the irresistible flavor of Doritos. Available for a limited time. KFC and Doritos, a crunch that's finger-licking good.
Public opinion.
Stop this foolish about this GLP and PMP business. We are Jamaican.
Different people.
It's not a matter of a GLP or a PMP. I think it's more like where it is that you think you're comfortable, what support you can afford to make the country better.
Different views.
Most entertainers, they're not amenable to management, so the only thing that can ultimately structure them is the court and the prison.
Public opinion. The voice of the people at 6:25 p.m. weekdays during Nationwide at 5. Tune into Nationwide at 6:25 p.m. for Public Opinion, where the people's views matter.
Public Opinion is brought to you by Cleasing Industrial Supplies Limited, Industrial Automation and Control Solutions.
Good evening with your sports report. I am Alrix Raby. We kick things off with some football as Jamaica's senior women's football team will play away to regional rival Trinidad and Tobago in an international friendly on October 28. The match will serve as crucial preparation for both teams ahead of the upcoming FIFA Women's World Cup qualifiers kicking off next month. However, the Regal girls will be without several first-team regulars due to a combination of injuries, club commitments and personal reasons. Despite the absence, head coach Hubert Busby remains optimistic about the team's prospects and sees the match as a key opportunity for new talent to emerge.
We've used the opportunities to maintain a core of players. Players aren't available due to injury or personal reasons. We've respected that heading into other games, and it's allowed for us to build our core group of players, and you've seen a lot of those players. There are players like Tiana Harris who we're bringing in, who is a player we've been following now for a while. She's been playing in France and she's doing well in Portugal, so it was a great opportunity to bring her in. You look at Gabrielle Gale, who was doing well in Mexico, and she's a local-born player that we want to see how she's kind of progressed on in the last year and a half playing abroad. And then you have someone like Jaylee McPherson, who's a captain of our U20s, who's last time she was in with Mexico, but we feel compelled what she's doing in college as well.
The match continues the long-standing football rivalry between the two countries. Trinidad and Tobago, like Jamaica, are also using the match to fine-tune their squad and tactics as they prepare for what is expected to be a challenging qualification campaign. Busby emphasized that while the match is technically a friendly, it carries significant importance.
As you know, that's a great rivalry between us and Trinidad, their biggest Caribbean rival. And, they're in the midst of their preparation as a seeded team as well. So we look forward to that game as a big match and test prior to our qualifying matches.
Busby Steve McLaren, head coach of Jamaica's Reggae Boys, opined that the coaching staff will have its work cut out selecting a squad for the November window of the ongoing CONCACAF FIFA World Cup qualifier. McLaren believes that with a few senior players still left to prove their fitness, the next camp will probably be the most difficult one he will have to select since his arrival.
The focus is on the 2 games to come, the next 3 weeks. Still watching players. But making sure that the squad that we've got, the likes of Damari and Leon Bailey, that they start playing for their clubs and get fit, so that it's becoming a headache, not just picking the team but picking the squad now, because there is quality from the goalkeeping position all the way.
The Reggae Boys will be in action on November 13 when they travel to Trinidad and Tobago before returning home to close off their campaign at the National Stadium on November 18 against Curacao. McLaren added that while local fans can be demanding on the team, it's the players' responsibility to deliver whenever they are placed to the pitch.
That's their responsibility to win the games. You win the games, you make them proud. And if you win the games, you see everybody smiling, and that's the key thing, I think. If I've learned anything from my year here and the culture of Jamaica is you demand a lot, but when you deliver, the smiles are the best smiles in the world.
Steve McLaren. Now, with less than a year to go before kick-off, global anticipation for the FIFA World Cup 26 is already reaching fever pitch. Over 1 million tickets have been sold following the closure of the pre-sale draw, according to FIFA, as fans from 212 countries and territories rush to be part of what promises to be the biggest and most inclusive tournament in football history. The Global Stand Against Racism proposal will be presented to FIFA's 211 members at its annual Congress in Bangkok today. The first pillar of the proposal intends to make racism a specific offense which is included in all member associations' disciplinary codes and has its own specific and severe sanctions, including match forfeits. FIFA said it will pause, suspend and abandon games in cases of racism. The crossed hands gesture will be used by referees. Now to cricket. West Indies fast bowling great Michael Holding has weighed in on the ongoing debate surrounding the growing popularity of franchise cricket and its impact on international representation. Speaking on the Mason and Guest radio show, Holding, known as Whispering Death, says it is unfair to force modern-day cricketers to choose between earning a stable livelihood through franchise leagues and representing the West Indies.
We have to look at the fact that today you have got to think about people's futures. We have a lot of great West Indian cricketers of years gone by who were much greater than the ones that are currently playing today, or even greater than in my time. And they did not have enough earnings to secure their future after playing the game. And they ended up, some of them struggled, some of them got by. I'm not going to tell a cricketer today that you must turn your back on big earnings when it is possible that you have a family and a future to consider, because sportsmen, you have a pretty short shelf life, and when you have come to the end of that career as a sportsman, you still have to live.
Holding, who donned the maroon cap from 1975 to 1987, played 60 test matches and 102 one-day internationals for the West Indies, claiming 249 test wickets and 142 in the limited overs format. A key figure during the golden era of West Indies cricket, he understands the pressure that comes with balancing personal ambition and team commitment.
There is no way I'm going to tell anybody that I think I made a mistake to go and play Kerry Packer, because that changed my life totally. The year before, I had gone to Australia, earned $600 for the entire 75-76 course, and a man comes along a year and a half later and offers me $25,000 for the same thing. How can you say no? And I did not at that stage even think about being a professional cricketer. If I went to Kerry Packer, I would not have played cricket the length of time that I did. My mother was a school teacher, a headmistress for many, many years, and she kept on saying to me, Mikey, get a piece of paper behind your name. I was at university when Packer started, and I left university to go and play Packer. I'm not going to tell a youngster today, somebody's offering you $500,000 to go and play for 6 weeks, and you must say no. What I would say is, try to remember your roots.
Michael Holding emphasized that cricket boards must find a way to adapt to the modern landscape. President of the Jamaica Olympic Association, JOA, Christopher Samuda, has voiced strong support for India as the host nation for the 2030 Commonwealth Games, calling the selection deserving and a testament to the country's growing global sporting stature. India is poised to host the centenary edition of the Commonwealth Games in Ahmedabad, a major city in the western state of Gujarat. If ratified next month, this will be the second time in just 2 decades that the Games will be staged in the world's most populous country. India previously hosted the event in New Delhi in 2010. Ahmedabad emerged as the preferred host city of Abuja, Nigeria, and Samuda expects the decision to be ratified at the Commonwealth Sports General Assembly in Glasgow on November 26.
The vote will carry. India, once again, is deservingly on the Commonwealth Games agenda and has a real opportunity to modernize and monetize what it delivered in 2010 in India. I expect it to be very seamless. But games globally have evolved. And now the Commonwealth Games face competition from Olympic others, not only as a sporting event, but as a commercial product. And therefore, local organizers will have to innovate in making the games an experience that fans will embrace and put down their money.
A key highlight of Ahmedabad's bid is the Narendra Modi Stadium, the world's largest sporting arena with a seating capacity of 132,000. The venue gained international acclaim when it hosted the ICC Cricket World Cup final in 2023 and is seen as a crown jewel in India's sports infrastructure. With a population exceeding 5 million, Ahmedabad has also been floated as a possible contender for a future Olympic Games, a sign of India's growing ambition on the global sports stage. Samuda says the Games are not just about sporting excellence, but also about legacy, and Ahmedabad has demonstrated the capacity to deliver both.
With India's strength in population numbers, its intriguing history, and its growing economy, there will be, I believe, tremendous media and broadcast opportunities for revenue generation, particularly with cricket, which alone will be able to pay the bills. But while profitability is key, the spirit of the Games must also be foremost in the minds of the citizens of Ahmedabad and the Commonwealth Games Association of India. For whereas Ahmedabad's largest stadium in the world and the necessary infrastructure that will be put in place, that will go some way. You know, it is the look and feel, the spirit and soul of the Games, the city and its people that will guarantee an inspiring and memorable experience.
Christopher Samuda. The 2030 Games will mark a significant milestone in the 100th anniversary of the first Olympic Games held in Hamilton, Canada in 1930. India's selection to host this historic edition is seen as a strategic move to reinforce the Commonwealth relevance in a changing geopolitical landscape and to engage younger and more diverse audience. And finally, in tennis, Serbia's tennis star Novak Djokovic insists that he has no intention of retiring from the sport anytime soon. The 38-year-old Djokovic is joint leader with former Australian star Margaret Court for most Grand Slam titles, with 24 apiece. Djokovic shared that greats from other sports have given him inspiration to prolong his playing days.
Longevity is one of my biggest motivations. I really want to see how far I can go, and I think if you see across all the the global sports, I mean LeBron James, he's still going strong. He's 40. Cristiano Ronaldo, Tom Brady played till he was 40 something years old. I mean it's unbelievable. They're inspiring me as well. So I want to keep going. And that's one of the motivations I have. And then I want to also live, meaning still keep on playing professionally, to see the change that is coming for our sport. And I'm super excited about it.
Djokovic's last title came in 2023 when he defeated Daniil Medvedev 6-3, 7-6, 6-3 to win the US Open. I'm Alex Raby, and that's your sports.
For all your
your scales and food processing equipment, call Advanced Scales and Equipment Limited at 876-968-9612 to 5. The time by Advanced Scales and Equipment Limited is
6:19.
Doritos and KFC, cheesy delicious, crunchy, new collaboration run the country. Doritos Zinger, hot and spicy. Doritos nacho cheese chips, cheddar cheese sauce. We not leave it. KFC with the extra crunch. The new Doritos Zinger, I want for lunch. The new KFC Doritos Zinger, the delicious combination of KFC's hot and spicy zinger and the irresistible flavor of Doritos. Available for a limited time. KFC and Doritos, a crunch that's finger-licking good.
Every school is free of unhealthy, ultra-processed products. You know, those high in salt, fats, and sugar. If only that weren't a dream. The reality is that many children have an unhealthy diet at school, and 23% of them are overweight or obese. This can lead to hypertension, heart disease, and type 2 diabetes. Let's protect our children's right to health with a policy for schools that prevents unhealthy food marketing and ensures access to nutritious foods. The time is now. Let's implement the National School Nutrition Policy. A message from the Heart Foundation of Jamaica and partners.
Give your team a glow up at the 2025 Business and Personal Etiquette Conference on November 6th at the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel. Procure the presence, polish, and professionalism to make your team unforgettable. Hosted by Make Your Mark Consultants in partnership with Caledonia Outdoor Advertising, Visual Tech Solutions, Nationwide 90 FM, Main Event, and more. Register now at makeyourmarkgroup.com or call 876-978-6001 for the Business and Personal Etiquette Conference.
If it's in the public's interest, it's the nation's business during Nationwide at 5. The nation's business.
Public Opinion is brought to you by Cleasing Industrial Supplies Limited, Industrial Automation and Control Solutions.
Good evening, and welcome to Public Opinion. I'm Robianne Williams. A special one to our friends over there on our YouTube platform. Shout outs to you. Thank you so much for tuning in. We ask you to weigh in live in the comments section on today's Public Opinion. So, if you take public transportation regularly, you've probably noticed that some fares seem to be creeping up, even without an official increase. Commuters across the island they've been complaining, voicing frustration about paying more than the approved fees, while some taxi drivers say, we have to increase the fees because everything arrears as well. So, in Public Opinion this evening, we're asking you, the commuters, are you being overcharged by route taxi operators? Them are going back the change? Are they holding on to your change? Let's get the comments over on Facebook, where Winston is saying, if one is not aware of the correct fare, how would you know if one is being overcharged? Well, I think the correct fares are posted for route taxis. Lily Roses is saying these things not exist anymore. Remember, JUTC is now all over Jamaica. Well, for those of whom take taxis, yeah. Colin Flowers is saying overloading of the vehicle is the main problem. Oh, so Colin don't have an issue paying the more money for his fare. Him say overloading. One are ready to and drive. Vanessa Samuels is saying taxi overcharge by telling you they have no change to give you back your silver. Yeah. You will give them $200 and it's $180 for the fare, and then the $20, the $30 for $170 just gone. Philip saying, I'm not there, but for one to be overcharging the passenger in question would have to know the correct fare and choose to pay otherwise, so the passenger would be the one allowing the overcharge. Not in every sense, Philip Jackson. Because when you give them a $200, they're going to tell us, say, them not have the change, them not have no silver, them not have no $20, them not have no $10, and so comes now, them drive away with your money. You can't go ask them back for your 2 bills. Okay. Diana Mitchell is saying, the amount of accident I see them cause in the mornings by overtaking, slam into incoming cars on the right lanes. They need some serious tickets. Hurting kids going school. Richmond Park area is a next area. And Red Hills Road. Dean Stainless says yes, he's being overcharged by route taxi operators. Eunice Anderson says no. Barking is saying yes, especially if they have to make a turn off. Hey, don't get me started on the turn offs. Hyacinth Beryl is saying yes, they charge $200 instead of the $120. That's very hefty though. That is very hefty. I mean, one can possibly understand if the fare is for $180 or $170 and they take the $200. But you're saying, Hyacinth, that the fare is for $120 and they're taking a whole $200? Something not right. Something not right at all. All right. On our Instagram platform, Nicole Whitaker says yes, from Papine to Halfway Tree is $200 and when... Wow. When rainfall is $250. What? Nicole is saying from Papine to Halfway Tree is $200, but when rainfall, the price go up. $50 added to it. Yeah? I mean, who feels it knows it? Because not many of us who drive and, don't take route taxis, we don't know. But who feels it knows it? The commuters are feeling it. Are you being overcharged by route taxi operators? Let me hear from our YouTubers if you're being overcharged. Where is your route, Willow? Gloria Johnson is saying no school in Jamaica. Okay, she was referencing something else. Willow Will says my fare is $230 and I just paid $250. No problem. Oh, I want to tell you that the taxis that run from outer Big Bay there to Halfway Tree are 3 bills for fare, and you want to see people jumping at it. 3 bills for the fare from Big Bay outer over in Portmore from Big Bay to Halfway Tree is $300, and then when you're going over in the evening, so in the morning is a different fare, $300, one already to one drive. And then when you're going over now, when you're going back home in Portmore, it's $500 in the evening because, it increased. Yeah. Oh my God. Homegrown is saying, when I take taxi, I pay my fare, but I want my change. But I know my taxi drivers, so I get it back sooner or later. Yeah. Erica is saying taxi drivers can be such nuisance. Willow Will says, because if I don't have any coins, they won't get upset. And as some see it too, because if I come into your taxi, I'm going to say, all right, I have $150, $170 at the fare. And I come in at the taxi, I'm going to say, my driver, I have $150. You must can give me a bus. You must can bus me. Because you take my $20 and my $30 and claim say you don't have no change. You must can, you must can bus me. Let me see if I can get in a few more. Taxi drivers can be such nuisance, says Erica Barnett. Let me see. No, I see the comments saying I should read, but is what I'm looking for. I don't necessarily see the comments, my dear. Some overcharge from $180 to $200, says Frank White. Philip Jackson says, yes, those taxi operators can also trick you and overcharge you. Yeah. I don't have a problem with my taxi. My fare is $200, says Patrick Williams. Robbie, you need to be driving. I am driving Kenyatta Montgomery. Would you look at that? Carlene says, be nice. I am nice. Greetings to you, Michael Wright. You know the reason why okay. It's an accent. I like it. Thank you so much, Michael Wright. Big up yourself. Oh, sure. I say, Robbie, Miss Lou proud. Miss Lou will be proud of you. I get it that many of you like my interchanging of the patois and the English. But yeah, for those taxi drivers out there who are overcharging the people, come on, man, life hard and life rough, you know, and I have to take with $30 and with $20. And I can give you back with change, don't it? Y'all can give us back the change. Verse by verse says, I am not overcharged, but I am overtaken. These taxi drivers are awful. Beverly Stewart from Spanish Town to Portmore, from Halfway Tree to Papine. Some driver will not take the 170. One get mad on me for $30. Yeah, they will get mad until you come out of them vehicle. Lam is saying a driver. Oh, I'm a driver. Would you look at that? Let me see. We all have, yes, we do. Kenyatta Montgomery, big up yourself. Dennis Singh is saying, yes, I'm being overcharged in Mandeville. Highgate St. Mary, Guys Hill, 180, give $200, no change, says Andrew Last. Yeah, man, they have a tendency to say, we not no change, we not no silver, you know, we not no silver. And some just take your $200 and don't say nothing. And when you do ask, driver, I'm supposed to get back $30 change. Our driver want to me $20 change. You hear the whole heap of kisty. Then that $20 you go and suffer. Then you can't allow me with the $30. Oh boy, they have a tendency to do those things. Homegrown says, I'm in the country, I don't really have much problem. You mean to tell me, say I told the problem there? Yeah, man, people will just take. Take. Dolores Smith, if I had seen the comments to read, I would have read them, you know, but if you're looking for yourself and scrolling up to see, then you would understand. Frank White says, if you give them less, them say them have a family to feed. Yeah. Greetings to you, Leroy Rutty. Greetings. I read that one already. From Highgate to St. Mary, Guys Hill, 180. Beverly said them get mad panar for $30. $30 change. Dreview says, come to Mobay and when double fare hit you, 12 p.m. it no normal outer road for passengers. Yeah. Donovan saying he can't comment pertaining to this. He hasn't taken a taxi for 10 years now. Big up yourself, Donovan. Big up yourself. Let me see if I can get in a few more for those of you who are sending it. Isa Mario believes the authorities need to round up the money and stop leave change on the fares. Make it flat, like $200 or $300 or $150. Make it flat, wherein you know so you can just pay $150 and you don't have to wonder if you'll get back any change. I understand you. That makes sense. Isa Mario said a country fare done high already. Jamaica Giant is saying JUTC should have a new route between Mandeville and Santa Cruz. Well, I hope the authorities are listening. Maybe they can take your advice. They don't need to charge more in country, says Isa Mario. Dre Views is questioning, Robian, what happened to passengers who come in the taxi in the morning with $1,000? Dre Views, hello, you see, if you want a taxi man, tell you all the cloth them with their Pings and Pablo, go in at the taxi and wait till you come off and give him $1,000. Or give him $2,000. All the cloth at Pings and Pablo will come to you. Just go in at the taxi and give him $1,000 right after you're coming out. I mean, the courtesy, you can have the courtesy of just telling the driver that you have $1,000 when you enter the vehicle. I would do it. I do it. Whenever, you know, we take taxis, I do it. Driver, I have $1,000 or $5,000, Frank White say. Taxi man will get mad. Yeah? Homegrown says, yes, guys, I think they need to make fares square without a change. Route taxi charge original fare. Hackney charge more, says Martin Scott. No, I know a route taxi them are charged too. Now taxi them, the route taxis are charging as well. Isa Mario says, don't need to charge more. Okay, I saw that one. Yeah, man. We should declare early because he could get change early at the gas station. Yes, Lam. And that's why you say, you know, you're out of courtesy, you say to the taxi man, well, driver, may have $1,000, you know. And if he doesn't have the change, he can tell you whether or not him can carry you. The 150 regular and turn for one is the same 150 in Spanish Town, says Beverly Stewart. Yeah. But guys, if you're being overcharged, just try going at a taxi with no ride fare, like the dead money. No, give him no more. No, just look your fare from overnight. Guys, that's the time. That's all the time I'm getting. That's all the time Book's giving me for public opinion this evening. The Business Report. Thank you so much for participating. The Business Report is up next.
Public Opinion was brought to you by Cleasing Industrial Supplies Limited, Industrial Automation and Control Solutions.
Drive the most exciting new vehicles in Jamaica. Schedule your 2024 Ford Ranger pickup or Ford Everest 7-seater SUV test drive now. Call or visit KIG today.
The time by KIG is
6:34. Hello, good evening, and welcome to Nationwide's Business Report. I'm Robianne Williams. India's goods exports to the U.S., its largest foreign market, dropped sharply by 20% in September and nearly 40% in the last 4 months. This as Trump's steep tariffs took effect. Data shows September was the first full month of Washington's 50% tariffs on Indian goods, which kicked in on August 27. This includes a 25% penalty for Delhi's refusal to stop buying oil from Russia. Negotiations for a trade deal between the two countries are underway, with the goal of concluding an agreement by next month. The U.S. Chamber of Commerce has filed a lawsuit against the Trump administration's new $100,000 fee on H-1B visas for skilled foreign workers. Chief Policy Officer at the Pro-Business Group, Neil Bradley, says the fee will make it cost-prohibitive for U.S. employers to use the program. Trump signed an executive order last month instituting the fee, arguing the visa program has been abused. Critics have said it undercuts the American workforce. It is used heavily by the U.S. tech sector, both by major companies and small startups. The White House responded to the suit by calling the fee lawful and a necessary initial incremental step towards necessary reforms to the program. And finally, the currency markets at the close of trading today. It cost 161 Jamaican dollars and 89 cents to buy $1 US, 218 Jamaican dollars and 3 cents to buy $1 British pound, and 116 Jamaican dollars and 68 cents to buy the Canadian dollar. That's the Business Report. I'm Robianne Williams. Good evening.
My Mega Mart, best value by far.
With so much to do in one location, make Mega Mart your one-stop shop. Pick up your groceries and houseware needs, grab a bite and pay some bills, fill your prescriptions and see the beauty products in our pharmacy. All in one amazing location. My Mega Mart, the best value by far.
When we go all out, crime and violence get stalled out.
The Citizen Security Plan is an all-of-government initiative led by the Ministry of National Security in partnership with the European Union to target the root causes of crime and violence.
Go all out.
Mental health support for the youth.
Go all out.
Working together with students and families to stop crime before it starts. The Citizen Security Plan. Together we can create safer streets and stronger communities. Go to mns.gov.jm to learn how you can play your part.
MSME operators, the NWC MSME Amnesty is a lifeline. Grab it. Apply between September 1 and November 30, 2025. Visit nwcjamaica.com. Email us at customercare@nwc.com.jm. You can also visit any commercial office or dial 888-NWC. Get a 50% debt write-off on your small commercial account if you pay all other outstanding debts or sign a payment agreement to do so in 3 months. Apply today.
Multi-link, access every time, everywhere I go. Multi-link, 24/7 access for me. It's just a win-win-win.
when we use multi-link. This card is Jamaican built, yeah. Fast and secure, you can use anywhere. Spend while supporting the economy. Look for the multi-link logo on your card and benefit from Jamaica's largest debit payment network. Multi-link, 24/7 access for me.
What would I do without my multi-link?
Give your team a glow up at the 2025 Business and Personal Etiquette Conference on November 6th at the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel. Procure the presence, polish, and professionalism to make your team unforgettable. Hosted by Make Your Mark Consultants in partnership with Caledonia Outdoor Advertising, Visual Tech Solutions, Nationwide 90 FM, Main Event, and more. Register now at makeyourmarkgroup.com or call 876-978-6001 for the Business and Personal Etiquette Conference.
Hi there. Here's some good news for these trying times. Quote, by God's word, I can see where I'm going. They throw a beam of light on my dark path. Unquote. Psalm 119, verse 105. Listen for God's word weekdays at 5:45 a.m. and 12:55 p.m. through
Oasis. Stop by for a refreshing drink and share a God perspective for the day.
Oasis. Weekdays 5:45 a.m. and 12:55 p.m. right here on Nationwide, a revolution in media.
The rebroadcast of the Oasis can be heard weekdays at 5:45 a.m.
I'm Dennis Brooks.
I'm Alan Campbell.
I'm Floyd Green.
And I'm Garth Williams. Catch us on the Jamaican Dads podcast right here on Nationwide 90 FM, Thursdays at 8 p.m. with a repeat on Sundays at 6 p.m.
The Jamaican Dads podcast is all about providing men with a healthy, safe, and functional forum to tackle many of the taboo topics that concern our masculinity.
Like everyone else out there, we're dads of varying amounts of experience who come from different backgrounds and often view the world differently.
We're definitely not perfect, but we are all brethren and we're all committed to this piece of rock called Jamaica.
Too often, there are no safe spaces for men to explore the issues which are important to us.
Plus, most of the content out there about parenthood is produced by women, for women. So we think it is important that we be the change we want to see.
Follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Jamaican Dads with a Z.
And definitely join us here on Nationwide 90 FM every Thursday at 8 p.m. with a repeat on Sundays at 6 p.m. for the Jamaican Dads podcast. It's a revolution in media.
Cliff Says is by far the most popular mid-morning radio segment in Jamaica. Cliff Hughes shares his views on the hot-button topics of the day, editorializing on various issues in the news, breaking news stories, and expounding on stories. Cliff Says sets the tone of the show for the rest of the day. Join the award-winning journalist Cliff Hughes weekdays during Cliff Hughes Online at 10 to 10:30 a.m. Join the revolution in media.
Cliff Says is brought to you by Educom Credit Union, providing value through service, and Hyundai, modern premium affordable vehicles.
Good evening. Thank you so much for staying with us. And if you're just joining us, hello. It's time for the nation's business. I'm Ricardo Brooks.
And my name is Sanjay Lewis. The major organized crime and anti-corruption agency, that's MOCA, has achieved a 93% conviction rate over the last 2 years. National Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang hailed the success as proof of MOCA's vital role in safeguarding Jamaica's national security.
The work they're doing has changed quite dramatically, but they've also had some major success. In the area of anti-corruption, so far MOCA is the only body that has successfully prosecuted complex corruption cases. MOCA has some very outstanding cases. They take time, but that's what corruption does. It requires a discipline and professionalism that have to go through time.
And that's Dr. Horace Chang. Now, the 2-year period saw the agency successfully prosecuting 30 out of 32 cases. And the most recent case involved a multi-million-dollar fraud uncovered at the Institute of Sports, that's InSports, and the 3 men were found guilty last month. All 3 were said to have been part of a team of former employees at the Institute who wrote, signed, and cashed fraudulent checks for payees who were neither employed or employees or contracted at the entity. Minister Chang says the MOCA is also emerging as the key agency tackling cyber crimes.
We have certainly become the primary agency that deal with cybercrime. The police have the CFCB, and we have support in the JDA, but the agencies have demonstrated the skill, the talent, and the capital to respond in a timely manner to cyber attacks is MOCA.
And that's Dr. Horace Chang, Minister of National Security and Peace. He was speaking at MOCA's Strategic Management Retreat held in Kingston on Wednesday. Now, joining us to discuss further, we have the Senior Director of Legal and Prosecutorial Services at the Major Organized Crime and Anti-Corruption Agency, that's MOCA, that's Nigel Park. And we have the Director of Communications at MOCA, Major Basil Jarrett. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Hi, good evening, Ricardo. Good evening,
Good evening, Mr. Brett. Good evening, Mr. Lewis. Thank you for having me.
Mr. Park, let me start with you. A 93% conviction rate. That's remarkable. To talk to me, what are the main factors behind this success that we're seeing? And are we seeing stronger investigations, better case preparation? What's causing that?
Thank you for that question. I think the most critical thing is that the numbers reflect the cogency and how involved our investigations are. Our investigations usually see us partnering with a number of law enforcement and other agencies, and therefore what you see reflected in the numbers, which whilst I acknowledge I don't want to bring overdue attention to, what the numbers represent is really the quality of the final product, because we still have to present the matter to the court, and then it's out of our hands in terms of what determination is made. But definitely it's representative of the strong teamwork, the ethic of the agency, our commitment to pursue wrongdoers, as well as to put before the courts credible, viable cases for prosecution.
And Major Jarrett, while the numbers are impressive, success also depends on public confidence. How has MOCA been working to maintain credibility and transparency in its operation?
Well, it's interesting you mentioned public confidence, because it is one of the most critical aspects of what we do, not just in terms of how we put together our investigations, how we assemble intelligence, but also the permissiveness that the public gives us to carry out our operations. When the public has faith in you, when they trust you, when they see that you're transparent and you're accountable, you do get that sort of public support, which, is a critical part in these successful prosecutions that you're seeing. In other words, good intelligence leads to good investigations lead to good operations, and good operations and arrests lead to good prosecution. So the public approval is absolutely vital in the work that we do here.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, apart from public approval and public confidence, one of the things I've always been impressed by is that I can't recall hearing of any MOCA agent or officer being implicated in anything untoward. I mean, it may have happened, but I certainly can't recall it. How do you ensure that the caliber of people that you recruit and bring into MOCA's ranks are above board?
Well, MOCA we like to consider ourselves as paragons of integrity. In other words, this business of integrity and accountability is key to what we do. And if our personnel themselves can't live up to that standard, it's going to compromise our operation. So from the very day someone is interested in applying to MOCA, they go through a very rigorous vetting process that sometimes takes months, even years in some cases, because we want to ensure that the persons we bring on board are who they say they are, and that they can withstand the greatest amount of scrutiny. We also have a very active polygraph and vetting function capacity here at the agency, where every single employee has to pass a very rigorous and stringent testing procedure before they're even considered. I was just talking to the director of our polygraph and vetting unit today, and he was saying that in an ideal world, we would like to ensure that all public bodies have this type of vetting and apply this type of scrutiny to the people who they bring on board. Obviously, the resources don't allow for that, but we at MOCA, we take vetting and that sort of scrutiny very seriously. Every single employee at MOCA has to live up to the highest level of integrity and accountability.
Yeah. And go ahead, Sanjay.
I'll go further, Major Jared. How do you maintain that process? Because it's one thing when you vet those individuals on entering, but maintaining the credibility of those within the organizations. How do you how do you maintain that?
The vetting doesn't stop. The vetting doesn't stop once you're in. It's an ongoing process. It is an ongoing process because we want to ensure that we not only attract the best persons, but they also remain the best persons while they're with the agency. So it's an ongoing process. In addition to that, I think when you work in an agency like MOCA, where integrity is so important, you can't help but absorb the ethos and the core value of the organization. It really does change you. And I believe that for the most part, the persons here not only come in at the highest level of personal accountability and integrity, but they also maintain it just because of the other persons who they are around. My friend Nigel likes to say iron sharpens iron. That's the type of approach that we take, where if we have people who have the highest level of courage, accountability, professionalism, etc., it permeates the entire agency. And I think that's a major part of being able to retain that impressive record.
And Nigel Park, obviously a part of your success has to be the fact that you have the lawful scope to carry out the kind of prosecutions and the kind of arrests and investigations that you do. But are there any current gaps in legislation that you think could be plugged to assist MOCA be better at its job?
Certainly there are gaps in, let me not focus on MOCA per se, but generally in terms of criminal legislation, there are gaps which are in need of attention, and I believe work is underway to treat with certain things. But just to name a few, the Cyber Crimes Act, I know there was a joint select committee that has reviewed it and has made a report. So the updating of that legislation is critical. There's also the Forgery Act, which is quite outdated. I believe the Forgery Act was passed in 1947. So in that legislation, there isn't even any contemplation of computers or electronic devices. And we are now in a space where a lot of offenses are committed in cyberspace, where they're either cyber-enabled or cyber crimes. So law enforcement, in order to maintain their efficacy, we need to have the requisite tools to be able to match the expertise and competence of our people with having legislation that is better fit for purpose for the manner in which offending takes place.
Is it fair then to say that a lot of these laws have not kept pace with the rate at which some of the criminals are advancing?
It is a fair comment, but it's also a function of us being in an environment where we have limited resources, and it's a reality that we have to accept. And as a function of that environment, you have to prioritize the priorities, if you can pardon me phrasing it like that.
Yeah.
And to some extent, you won't always get what you want, But the important thing is that from a government of Jamaica perspective, if the momentum is continuous in the right direction, then you can see where you're heading to.
Mm-hmm.
And so therefore I always view the glass as being half full.
Yeah.
Minister Chang spoke about MOCA's role in tackling cybercrime. How is the agency adapting to this new frontier, whether through technology, training, or international collaboration?
Well, cyber is actually at the forefront. It's one of the fastest growing aspects of what we do. I think coming out of COVID, when if you weren't online, you certainly had to go online following COVID. What that did was it created not just new targets for criminals, but it also created new criminals who wanted to exploit this growing market of newbies online. And so this is something that we have been tracking. As a result, we've invested heavily in our cyber capabilities. We try to ensure that we're on the cutting edge of developing technologies. That means attending some of the most advanced training forums for our members, accessing the most current technology that's available, and literally just trying to keep one step ahead of the criminals. Cyber is a cat and mouse game, and we're always one step behind people who are, always looking for new and innovative ways to carry out their crimes. But the issue of cyber it's a critical aspect of what we do, and we see it as the future, because almost every single financial crime that you can think of today has a cyber component to it. So we are very big on cyber. It's one of our fastest growing departments, and we see it as a critical avenue that criminals will look to exploit in the future.
And beyond enforcement, Major Jarrett, because corruption often thrives in the shadows, right? So when we look beyond enforcement, how is MOCA engaging with the public and other institutions to promote the prevention and build awareness around integrity and accountability, which is also important?
Well, I think the best demonstration of that is the anti-corruption tip line, which we launched about 2 or 3 years ago. That tip line is something that we envision as a critical enabler that will get the public on board in the anti-corruption fight. As you may know, it's powered at the back end by Crime Stop. We chose to partner with Crime Stop because of that very impressive record they have. They've never had a source compromise in their 36 years. And we thought they were the ideal partner to go down this road with. And I think the response from the public suggests that we made the right choice. But in addition to the support we get from the public, it would be remiss of me not to mention the support we get from our partners in the anti-corruption and organized crime fight. We get a lot of support from the JCF. MOCA is a fairly small agency. Some of our operations are very resource intensive. So we turn to the police whenever we need additional boots on the ground. Not just the police, but my other place across the road from us, over at the JDF. Very important partners in what we do. There's the Financial Investigations Division, Tax Administration Jamaica, Jamaica Customs, PICA. All of these bodies are critical enablers allowing us to do what we do. So the confidence that we get from the public and from these partners helps us to do the job that we're doing, and it helps us to get the results that you're seeing now.
Yeah, and I'm happy that you mentioned that, Major Jarrett, and I'll throw this one to Nigel Park, because MOCA's work often overlaps with other agencies, and Major Jarrett mentioned a few of them. How strong is the collaboration among these entities, and talk to me, how does it affect your success rate?
It's a critical component of our success rate. Aside from having long-standing relationships, some of these partnerships are further bolstered by the existence of formal MOUs, and they go a long way in strengthening the relationships. In your opening remarks, you referenced the recently concluded InSport case. That case was jointly investigated by MOCA and FID. It was prosecuted, by Crown Counsel and counsel from MOCA. So a lot of our successes are due to the strength of our collaboration with our partner agencies.
And I think that is critical. Well, finally, Major Jarrett, as MOCA continues to expand its mandate, especially in cyber and organized crime, what message would you like to send to Jamaicans about the agency's mission and future direction?
Well, I think you hinted at it earlier, that corruption thrives in darkness. And the version to that I like is sunlight is the best disinfectant. And if we really want to clean up, want to clean up Jamaica, it's everybody has to be on board. The agency cannot investigate a crime that we don't know anything about. And so, when we created avenues like the tip line, we are trying to engage the public to get them on board, because that help is absolutely critical, not just in alerting us to the criminality that's happening, but also helping to point us in the right direction. So I can't stress how important it is that we need persons to get up and stand up and make their mark and make their voices be felt by simply engaging with MOCA and the other law enforcement entities who are in the fight. We need public support, we need public involvement, we need public engagement.
Yeah. Nigel Park is Senior Director of Legal and Prosecutorial Services Unit at MOCA, and Major Basil Jarrett, of course, is the Director of Communications at MOCA. Gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right.
All the best.
We're going to take a break. Come back with more.
The Pink Run, a corporate wellness challenge, encourages physical activity, healthy eating, and age-appropriate health checks. Remember, early detection saves lives. The time by the Ministry of Health and Wellness is
7 o'clock.
To facilitate Nationwide's transition to a new location, or live programming will be disrupted starting Friday, October 17 at 1 p.m. We resume live broadcasting on Tuesday, October 21, 2025. The Mayor's Parlor will be aired on Sunday, October 19, starting at 12 noon. We apologize for any inconvenience these changes may cause.
As a parent, you give your children a good start in life. You nurture, protect, and guide them. Parenting is a process that prepares your child for independence. As your child grows and develops, there are many things you can do to help your child. Stay tuned to The Big Show, Nationwide this morning, for parenting tips. Fridays at 6:53 a.m. Only here will you learn everything you need to know about parenting. Tips to help parents navigate the incredibly challenging and rewarding journey of child rearing. Parenting tips on Nationwide at 90 FM, the revolution in media.
Thank you so much for staying with us here on Nationwide at 5. I'm Ricardo Brooks.
And my name is Sanjay Lewis.
And in the United States, journalists staged a walkout from the Pentagon. Dozens of them turned in their access badges and exited the building. The action was a rejection of new rules by the Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, and it would leave journalists vulnerable to expulsion if they sought to report on information, classified or otherwise, that had not been approved by Hegseth for release. The Trump administration called the new rules a common sense approach to help regulate what it described as a very disruptive press.
Well, many of the reporters waited to leave together at 4 p.m. And that's the deadline set by the Defense Department. As the hour approached, boxes of documents lined the Pentagon corridor, and reporters carried chairs, a copying machine, books, and old photos to the parking lot from suddenly abandoned workspaces. Shortly after the hour, about 40 to 50 journalists left together after handing in badges.
Now, it's unclear what practical impact the new rules will have, though news organizations vowed that they'd continue robust coverage of the military no matter the vantage point. Here's more from MSNBC.
We have some breaking news to tell you about on a story we've been covering here all week. Since we've been on the air, dozens of news outlets covering the Defense Department have left the Pentagon after refusing to agree to and sign the Trump administration's new demands that significantly curb access to and the ability to report on and cover that building, the Pentagon, and the men and women of the military. The people refusing to sign include Fox News, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth's former place of work. A Pentagon reporter from the AFP posted this photo of journalists on the steps of the Pentagon after handing in their badges that gave them access to the building. A correspondent from Reuters tweeted this, quote, "The physical Pentagon bureaus of Reuters and virtually every other news organization are now officially closed. But we will continue to cover the Pentagon fairly and aggressively from outside the building, holding the U.S. military accountable." We're back with Rachel. I know you got everyone's attention, the world's attention, with your open a week ago Monday about how authoritarianism is here. It's not on the horizon. It's not something theoretical that you and I both covered in the months leading up to the election. It's not a question before the voters. It's what they have ushered in with the reelection of Donald Trump. And this is, you know, chapter one, shutting out the free press, shutting out access to the truth about the military.
Yeah, but this is also a really important chapter in what it means to stand up to authoritarianism. Nicole, we have talked about the fact that, you know, the people have been brave. Individual Americans, the people who you're going to see out this Saturday at the No Kings protests, the people who you've seen in every state of the country almost every day of the week taking some act of protest against Trump, those folks have been brave and principled and unafraid. The cowardice that we have seen has been from institutions, and that includes media organizations and news organizations, where we've seen executives over and over and over again make cowardly and craven decisions to try to appease Trump or please him in some way in the hopes that maybe that earns you another day of being allowed to operate at his pleasure. It's just been disgusting what we've seen from the most important and valuable corporations in this country and law firms and universities and all the rest of it. In this case, we've got all of those Pentagon reporters with their news organizations behind them standing up and saying, no, we are not stenographers. We are not going to work under strictures where we are only allowed to write down what you tell us we can write down. That's not journalism, and we're not going to do it under those terms. We'll do it some other way. We'll give up these bureaus, these physical bureaus inside the Pentagon, sure, and that is a compromise, absolutely. We will find other ways to do this work, because you keeping us here while we only write what you want and approve us of saying would have us working here as your lackeys rather than working as journalists, and we're journalists. I find this to be incredibly inspiring, and I don't know how it's going to result, or how it's going to resolve in terms of what happens with that press space inside the Pentagon. But when journalists and the news organizations that employ them stand up like this, particularly ones on the right, it is a good sign about the self-respect and vision and values and bravery of people who are really important to the health of our democracy. I think this is a really good sign.
Do you think it's happening because it's the military, or do you think it's happening because there's something different about the Pentagon press corps?
I think it might be happening because news organizations have realized that it's really embarrassing to cave to Trump. I think that, that we haven't necessarily, I think the Trump administration, people who are working for him, know what they're trying to do. I think they are trying to impose one party permanent rule, getting rid of American democracy and for all intents and purposes, and having an authoritarian takeover of the country. I think they know what they're doing. So are they susceptible to changing their minds because of people protesting and calling them out for what they're doing? Maybe not at this point, although I think people are going to keep chipping away at it. But every other institution in the country that is public-facing in particular, whether it is a company, whether it is a news organization, whether it is a professional organization of every kind, I think people have now gotten the message that it is a humiliation, and it is something that you cannot live down until you change course and change your mind to bend the knee to this guy. And so I don't think anybody, any self-respecting news organization knew that they could accept these sort of rules and leave their reporters in there under these Orwellian rules. And so I think that the weather is changing, and that institutions know it's not a good look to capitulate to this guy and to this insane stuff they're demanding of people in this country anymore.
It's something that Martin Sheen said on Saturday at our MSNBC Live event. He said, this is fleeting. And the idea that people think that this will be the weather, to use your word, forever, and that it won't at some point be the most hideous brand ever to be. I mean, imagine being Paul Weiss, right? The first law firm that capitulates to Trump. That won't always be a good look, but they will have always gone first.
That report there from MSNBC. So, muzzle velocity, that's what they call it in the Trump administration, just keeps stunning the media, overwhelming them. And the theory from the Trump administration is that eventually, they'll give up. It must be exhausting, though. It looks exhausting.
Yeah, it is. But what we saw at the Pentagon, Ricardo, it's more than just a walkout for me. It's a statement about the role of a free press in a democracy. And when journalists are told that they can only report information pre-approved by the government, that's not transparency. That's control. And in my mind, the press exists to question power, not to seek permission from it. So these new rules by the Defense Secretary it goes far beyond national security in my mind, and they threaten the very foundation of open government. And I like that image of reporters carrying out the boxes and handing in their badges. It should alarm the citizens in the United States, who I hope believes in accountability. Yeah, whether you agree with the press or not, a democracy without independent journalism is a democracy running in the dark, in my mind.
10 minutes after 7, we're going to take a break and come back with your calls. The number is 630-9371-4, 618-8255.
Jamaica's unemployment rate has fallen to 3.3%, down from 13.2% in 2016. Our government's continued focus on job creation is delivering real results. We are building Jamaica. The time by the Office of the Prime Minister is...
Bug says it's important to remind you that it's 11 minutes now after 7.
Home is closer than you think when you save towards your dream home with the Homeowners Savings Plan, or HOSP, from CIBC Caribbean. With HOSP, you unlock preferential interest rates to earn more interest on your savings and pay less with a discounted mortgage rate. You can even borrow up to an additional US $5,000 or its equivalent to help you with your closing costs. Get home faster when you save the HOSP way with CIBC.
Hi there. Here's some good news for these trying times. Quote, by God's word, I can see where I'm going. They throw a beam of light on my dark path. Unquote. Psalm 119, verse 105. Listen for God's Word weekdays at 5:45 a.m. and 12:55 p.m. through
Oasis. Stop by for a refreshing drink and share a God perspective for the day.
Oasis, weekdays 5:45 a.m. and 12:55 p.m. right here on Nationwide, a revolution in media.
The rebroadcast of the Oasis can be heard weekdays at 5:45 a.m.
To facilitate Nationwide's transition to a new location, or live programming will be disrupted starting Friday, October 17 at 1 p.m. We resume live broadcasting on Tuesday, October 21, 2025. The Mayor's Parlor will be aired on Sunday, October 19, starting at 12 noon. We apologize for any inconvenience these changes may cause.
Yeah, this is the final episode of Nationwide at 5 from 6 Bradley Avenue. The next time we have this show, we'll be in a new location. Yeah, it's kind of sad. Robin is very sad. She wanted to cry. Delroy.
Hello, good night.
How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. And you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Yes, listen. What I calling about? I hear, are you hearing me?
Yes, man, we hear you.
Yeah, man, go ahead.
Okay, I hear the operation leader talking about signing code of conduct and all that kind of stuff. You know, and he want good leadership. But I don't understand if the operation leader really understand what he's talking about. Because the first thing about it, if you're leading, you're supposed to lead from front, not from back. And the first thing that I see that him done, when the Prime Minister is sworn in, he is a leader and he signed a code of conduct. And I think that's a part of conduct where he's supposed to, whether the PNP is a Prime Minister and are sworn in or the Labour are sworn in. I think that's a part where he's supposed to be standing up, you know. And he don't see fit to stand up. I mean to say he don't recognize the Prime Minister and things like that, but he's gonna sign code of conduct and saying he leading and he want everybody to lead by good example. So I don't understand if you really understand what you're saying.
All right, I hear you. 630-937-124, 618-8255. The YouTubers are asking. Enna Coley says, Ricardo, do you people need any help? No, I think I think the movers have it covered, and I appreciate the offer. Butcher says, what did Butcher say? I missed that one. Already gone. Never get fit. Mona Smith says, I'm so proud of NNN. David Neighbor is asking, where are you moving to? We're moving to Ocean Boulevard, downtown Kingston, inside the Digicel building. Them say, oh, that's why George so tired. Yes, man. Deputy Executive Editor has been working overtime to make sure everything goes well and smoothly. George has been working very hard, but you'll see him back soon. Dwayne, good evening.
Good evening, how are you?
I'm all right, how are you?
Yes, from the other day I want to make the same point that the gentleman make a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why I said that is that if I was a journalist and I was given the opportunity to ask some questions,
yes,
so that lead to the Prime Minister, to the leader of opposition, the question I would have asked, everything that the government did, the opposition party never embraced it. Not one thing that I can remember that they embraced. So I wanted to ask them, what if he was the one who was found with the government and he was doing some good things? Did he expect people to embrace it? That's number one.
That's what you mean, yes.
Right. Did he want people to embrace when he did anything that was right? Could we, as Jamaicans, embrace it? And if he wants us to embrace it, why is it that he behaving so much? No, you're talking about integrity and he want code of conduct and things like that. And the gentleman rightly said he was not standing up. Now, how could you know, as a man who claimed to be a Jamaican and do our run to Jamaica, and something is happening nationally, you don't want him to wear the national flag. You everything you politicize and see it negative. So if are you saying that we must go to school to write the narrative over again? Because as far as it's wrong, right and right wrong. Because whatever is done good, it's wrong for him. So what he will be going to Parliament to do, clear wrong there. And we embrace it. Because if right is wrong, then when he wins, when you go there, what will you do? So it's like them try to have people confused, especially him. So I agree with the gentleman a while ago. If you want people to stand up, you got to stand up. You recognize that God do not break his own laws, and you should not break your own laws. So if you are saying that you're going to stand up for principles, then you need to stand up for principles. Because you're talking about Jamaica, you're not talking about yourself now. That's what I want to say. Thank you.
All right. I appreciate the call.
Yeah.
630-937-124, 618-8255. Willow.
Yes, good evening.
Good evening.
Yes. Ricardo?
Yes, sir.
Ricardo?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, how you do?
I'm all right. How are you?
How are you? Yeah, Shaban?
Sanjay.
Sanjay. Okay. I call it this evening, I call this evening, you know, but we should have enjoyed me evening because of my birthday and we just decided to make one call because
happy birthday.
We want to look good news.
Happy birthday.
Thank you very much. Yeah, me want to look good news and I'm so proud of the education system now.
Yeah.
Because there's future for our youth. And the youth must see it as a bright future. But the youth can't see it as a bright future without the parents. Because the parents have to play a key role in all of this. So if the parents don't play a key role, it's not going to work. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying.
No, and I agree. I understand that and I agree.
Yes. Because the education minister is pushing out. The teachers are doing their part. The student is trying. And the parents have to sit with the children.
Mm-hmm.
Is what you want. Let me tell you something, you know, Ricardo and Sanjay. If we don't look 10, 15 years down the line and said, this is what I want for my child, and I want my child to achieve this, it's not going to work. We can't leave our children to out there. We have to work with the school and the children. We have to be a part of the parents-teacher association in our school. In the school that your child attends. We have to be active. There's no time to lay back. And then when we lay back, we blame government. The government now is doing their part. We have to do our part. And we have to be serious doing our part.
Yes. No, I absolutely agree with you.
Yeah.
Because
So
some parents have a tendency that they just leave their children to be reared and raised by school and the teacher. And then all the problems with them knows that the picnic of a yard, them leave it for school and teachers and principals to solve. So I agree.
It's not going to work.
It won't work. Parents have to step up. I agree.
Yeah. All right, I have a child, my last child, he'll have a problem. Cliff know about it. And what's his name? He's away now. He do the Cliff program on Friday. What's his name is?
Tyrone.
Tyrone know about it. And the next one, the program in the night on Tuesday. Campbell.
Rodney.
They know about it. And I never leave up my child. My child never talk until he was 9 years old. And I work with him.
Yes.
Yes. Both me and my wife, we work with him. Today, he's going to high school. He passed his PEP late. But he's catching up. He's catching up.
That's good.
And we have to be the parents that is interested in our children.
I agree with you.
And we can't lay back. Because when you look at the world, you know, even the other day I was saying to even the little one that I'm telling you about.
Mm-hmm.
Because when he talk, you have to look at him because you say you couldn't talk and you couldn't And you are telling me about business and how to run business and all of these things. And I said, where you get that from? He said, school. And I said, what? He said, school. And he said, the internet helped him a lot too.
Yeah.
Because what he got on the internet for is something to help him. Him no waste time on the internet. Because he have a business head. And if you notice, the world is going so fast with this AI and all these things. And we have to guide our children. We have to be behind them.
Agreed. Thanks for the call, brother. Just before I go to William, there is a question. Michael is asking, what are the best memories at this current workplace before the move to the new building? I'm going to do you a favor, Michael. I'm going to ask all the reporters who are left in the newsroom, Mahiri, Robian, Abigail, Shaloy, Colesia should still be here. I'm going to ask you all to come and join me in the studio so that they can tell you what their favorite part of being in this building has been over the years. So if we could get them for me, Books, all of them out there, and Cara as well, if they can all come and tell you. So they can tell you what their favorite, they're all out there very emotional, you know. So they can come and tell you. This is the Nationwide at 5 team. It's not just me, Sanjay, Books, and Dana. Whole team, whole newsroom, the evening shift that makes this show possible. So I'm inviting them to come and tell you their favorite part. William, good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Brooks. Good evening, Mr. Lewis. Hello?
Yes, man. Go ahead, William. We're hearing you.
Oh, yeah, I realize that you're not going to Shantytown, man.
Shantytown?
Yeah.
Is that them call it?
Eh?
Is that them call it? Oh, okay.
You ever know, say down there the first Shantytown?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, man. I remember the song with Desmond Lewis to sing. Not Desmond Lewis. Sing the... what's the name again?
No, Shantytown.
Yeah, them a shoot, them a way down a Shantytown. Desmond Decker.
Oh, yes, I know the song.
Yes, yeah, right. I was down there, man. That time, Marcus Guy was on him Foreshore Road.
Ah, gotcha.
You know that up to now I don't get a call.
From the Ministry of Labour.
Right. So I'm wondering if it was the person who called, if it was from there or somebody running a joke or something. Anyhow, the main issue I call, I don't know if we could get either the minister or the director for JUTC. We need a proper schedule system for JUTC. Mr. Brooks, what happening out there now it can't continue. We need a proper schedule system, and the passenger them we need to educate us that we know about the schedule system when you can go to get a bus. People cannot still go out there and stand up 2-3 hours same way and bus still around. There's no changes of the waiting. You get more bus, but it's the same policy happening. It can't continue. We need a scheduled system. I don't know if it's the minister or the director, but somebody need to deal with it, Mr. Bucket. We are suffering as passengers. If rain comes, we stand up out there, wait up in night, same way. Sunshine, stand up in the boiling sun, same way. You hearing me?
Yes, man, we're hearing you.
Yeah, man, so I don't know who we could get to put a good schedule system for JUTC. That we, the passenger, can work with this with the schedule system. So you will not forget to go start, huh?
If I can ask you, the schedule that they have on their website, I don't know if you have had anyone to check it. You're saying that it's not accurate?
Not working, none at all.
Oh.
Not accurate, not working, none at all. You have a system, them put up a board up a greater put my saying, but not now work after that. Just about show you the time and time when the bus and leave, but not now work after that. The only bus them where passenger might go up on time is the express or the premium them. But the regular bus them is a waste of time. It's a waste of time.
All right, William, hear you. Faithful, good evening.
Good evening, Sanjay. Good evening, Mr. Brooks.
Good evening, Faithful.
Yeah, man, good evening. First question, I would like Mr. McKenzie to tell me when Musgrave Market going to start. Because I find it damaged by fire some time ago. We have not heard anything about Musgrave Market. I would really like our update. When it going to start? Because it just left dormant like that. That's one. I'm a bit concerned with what it takes place between America is striking the boat in the Caribbean waters, even though they claim that is independent water. I heard Mr. Trump make a speech yesterday when he said that he fully controls the water and the drug smuggler, whom he deemed to be drug smuggler, are scared. And his next move, because he controls the sea, is on land, indicating that he's about to send troops into, well, never said troops, he has the CIA in Venezuela. So he wants to control the land. What is his intent? Hello?
I don't understand. How I wouldn't know what his intent is. I don't know.
Eh?
I don't know what his intent is.
Is that not a bit scary?
Is it what?
Is that not a bit scary?
Is it not scary?
You're right.
Yes.
But Trump is behaving reckless, man. He shooting boat on the water, and the next step is not satisfied because he went to Grenada so that he can get a satellite, and he went also to Antigua, but he still and his intention is on land. To me, that is far too dangerous. Southern Caribbean, and the last strike that he make, he killed 2 Trinidadians. That they claim that they were drug smuggler. Trust me, I find it deeply troubling. Some time ago, I told you that I'm very wary of the peace agreement that Hamas and Israel had. The last report that I got that Hamas blindfold about 50 has been put in the square and shoot them in the head because they were not fully supporting them. Where is that going? Hello?
We're hearing you, Faithful.
Yeah, just hearing me.
You're asking me questions that I couldn't possibly answer.
You have not happened nothing.
How would I know where that's going? Do you know where it's going?
But I
don't have any more information about the Hamas-Israeli conflict.
I think I told you last week that I'm not sure how successful that peace treaty will be.
It's a fragile step towards a possible peace arrangement, and individuals are saying it will not hold, but others are being hopeful. We can't say whether it will hold or not. We just have to be hopeful as it relates to that.
I thought it will not. As I told last week, the biggest stumbling block is the division of Jerusalem. I don't know that's going to work. And in my mind, that would be the biggest stumbling block.
Yeah, the agreement offers hope. That's all I will say. I will agree with you that peace will depend on whether all parties, including Hamas, Israel, and the international mediators, they can follow through on the hardest part. Yeah, and any agreement, you would hope that all the parties involved will follow through, and that's the only hope we have at this point.
I can say that there are many things Israel not going to accept. Anyway, have a good evening.
You too.
All right, Faithful.
Mahiri? So, apparently only Mahiri wants to talk to you all. Nobody else wants to talk to you all. So Mahiri will come and tell you his favorite time. Oh, you can sit. Yeah, you can sit. You can join us. So you all know Mahiri. Mahiri presents the 5 o'clock news sometimes, and he reads Pub Up and Business.
Present Pub Up, yeah.
And you read 6 o'clock news as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're a proper part of Nationwide at 5. So the question was, what is or was your favorite memory of this current workplace?
That's a tough one, man. Because, okay, so for context, for the people listening, I started working at Nationwide October 2022. So it's almost been 3 complete years.
Anniversary coming up.
Yeah. So, let's think. Maybe you can help refresh my
No,
market.
I'm surprised that you haven't said the favorite part of working here has been working with me.
Are we talking about the building?
Surprised, Sanjay. No, I'm surprised, Sanjay. Go on that though.
All right. Oh, so
still not me. Okay.
Is working with me your favorite?
Yeah, no, I'm gonna say no because you're put on the spot, but but no, seriously, what's your favorite part of working here?
What is my favorite part? You mean this location, Bradley Avenue?
Yeah.
Well, this is gonna sound funny, but maybe it's just how easy it is to get here.
The location.
Yes.
Okay.
I think it's located in such a nice spot that's close to what it needs to be close to for me to be comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it's a good distance from halfway tree. So when I'm walking, it's still a long walk, but it's not nothing crazy.
Yeah.
I'm still close to things that, like, if I need to stop somewhere on the way, I can stop somewhere on the way and not worry about being late.
Yeah.
So just Bradley's location is pretty good. What else? What's the best thing that's ever happened to me since I've been here, man? Ugh.
So Sharon, bless her, she can't believe it's so long you work on it at NNN.
Same.
She said, wow, not just the other day.
It feels like just the other day. I feel like that's gonna set in when we leave, though. Mm-hmm. I feel like when we leave, it's gonna be like, all right, we were really here for a good while, man.
Location.
Yeah.
You could get here easily.
Yes. Pinky being across the road. Okay. Shout out Pinky.
For those who don't know, Pinky.
I was wondering when he's going to say that.
Pinky has a stall across the road that we all go out to get snacks and things. And Mahiri would be extremely familiar with Pinky.
Yes, I have no choice but to be extremely familiar with Pinky. Because I go to Pinky whether I want to or not.
And that's Sanjay, because every time I want something from Pinky, I call Mahiri.
We know.
I say Mahiri, and he goes, what?
And the whole time I know exactly why he's calling me, though.
Or you will say, you don't want something to drink.
Yeah, right, exactly. So
I don't, Sanjay. I don't.
I try to bribe him. I say, Mahiri, you feel for something to drink.
Mahiri did to me already. You don't want something to drink, Sanjay.
But if we're going back to the benefits of Bradley, things I love about Bradley, I was saying this earlier, it feels like a nice big old clubhouse.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? There are all the kind of different sections everybody's at. So we got the newsroom, we got Cliff office, we got George office, the 2 studios, this one and the one over there for entertainment where we record upstairs with all of them, the different compartments. It felt like a house that everyone shared, pretty much like a clubhouse.
Okay.
So that's one of the things I really like the most about Bradley Avenue.
So it felt familiar.
Yeah, but that's obviously going to come with...
Yeah, when you go in a new location.
Yeah, exactly. That's going to be something. But it's going to be something I miss. There are also going to be things we don't miss, obviously. But let's focus on the positives now, yeah? Oh, God.
While he thinks about it, 630-937-124, 618-8255. Those are the numbers to call. We're going to take a break and come back with more.
I'm Dennis Brooks.
I'm Alan Campbell.
I'm Floyd Green.
And I'm Garth Williams. Catch us on the Jamaican Dads podcast right here on Nationwide 90 FM, Thursdays at 8 p.m. with a repeat on Sundays at 6 p.m.
The Jamaican Dads podcast is all about providing men with a healthy, safe, and functional forum to tackle many of the taboo topics that concern our masculinity.
Like everyone else out there, we're dads of varying amounts of experience who come from different backgrounds and and often view the world differently.
We're definitely not perfect, but we are all brethren and we're all committed to this piece of rock called Jamaica.
Too often, there are no safe spaces for men to explore the issues which are important to us.
Plus, most of the content out there about parenthood is produced by women, for women. So we think it is important that we be the change we want to see.
Follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Jamaican Dads with a Z.
And definitely join us here on Nationwide 90 FM every Thursday at 8 p.m. with a repeat on Sundays at 6 p.m. for the Jamaican Dads Podcast. It's a revolution in media.
To facilitate Nationwide's transition to a new location, or live programming will be disrupted starting Friday, October 17 at 1 p.m. We resume live broadcasting on Tuesday, October 21, 2025. The Mayor's Parlor will be aired on Sunday, October 19, starting at 12 noon. We apologize for any inconvenience these changes may cause.
Welcome back to Nationwide at 5. We're still taking your calls, and Mahir is still figuring out the things he likes about Bradley Avenue.
I wrote a list.
You have a list now? Okay.
Yeah, while we're gone, I compiled a list of things about Bradley, whether memories or just things in general that I like.
All right. So, Carl, we'll soon give you that list. Carl.
Evening, Ricardo.
How are you?
Good, man. Good, Sanjay.
Hey, Carl, how you do?
Hey, I want to ask you a question tonight.
Good enough.
I heard Golding yesterday evening saying sign. I asked all each other person to sign the code of conduct.
Yes.
I know if him asked Ian Hales to sign the code of conduct. If Ian Hales is one of the person who signed the documents.
Why wouldn't he be?
And if he asks all of the MPs to sign, I would assume that Ian Hales is one that would sign.
Okay. So when you have some land and you block it in our court system that nobody must discuss it, what is that?
Now, you know the rules of sub judice. I don't know why you're going this route.
All right. I'm going to leave that right there. But I just put that out to Golding. If you hear, say, Harry Strong is the Minister of National Security, and you hear, say, him beat up his son or back up his wife, would you have him still want to shadow that portfolio? I will leave that there.
Yeah, because you don't expect me to respond to hearsay.
Right, I will leave that there. I will leave that there. You know, sometimes when you hear Golding talk, you wonder if he thinks, say, we are in Jamaica are fools.
No,
the only thing that
Carl,
the only thing
you can't utilize hearsay though, you know, and
I know hearsay.
That's facts.
We know of it. And we know where people went to a doctor and all kind of things. Don't take me down the lane that I don't want to.
Well, you can't ask we then. We don't know about it. Okay. You tell me.
All right. Anyhow, I think what that Caribbean Court of Justice business and the Privy Council and all kind of things, I think Andrew will have better things to do in time of getting the 15 parish up and ready, but then continue to talk about England and Caribbean Court of Justice and all kind of things. Because the first thing I will say to my Prime Minister...
What do you support as the final court, Carl?
The first thing, Sanjay, Golding...
No, before you go to Mr. Golding, I'm asking you a question. What do you support? What option do you support as a final court?
Final court to come on my yard.
So it must be based in Jamaica?
Must be based in Jamaica.
Okay. So you'll be satisfied with it being the present Court of Appeal?
Yes. And the next thing...
Hold on, no question. Thinking it through. So what is the problem with the CCJ that you think wouldn't apply to a local court?
The CCJ, Trinidad, they're right in a Trinidad backyard. And Trinidad say no to it.
But it's a court can travel though.
But hold on, but and also what does have to do with it? I understand that.
Yeah.
So if Trinidad sneeze, Jamaica catch cold, how that go?
No, right. Well, hold on, Ricardo. What is so interested that do you remember when that court was setting up? A lot of people don't remember. It was one of the court that P.J. Patterson it have a big influence into. And he used 27 million United States dollar from Jamaica, the taxpayer money, and help to set it up. And the fierceness of PJ Patterson said, all who think about referendum, forget it.
Okay, so
I am not
so how long ago was that?
It doesn't matter.
Oh, but it does matter. It does matter.
Ricardo, hold on, Ricardo. Hold on. If you look other day, I heard Mr. Hughes and a lot of person talking about state person should have come now. Bruce Golding, former Prime Minister PJ Patterson, Andrew and Mark Golding. If you should have any statement now to put into that to help to move away from England, could you?
Oh man, I think you know. Hold on. You had to wipe a side show. Side shows. I'm asking you, what is the difficulty you have with the Caribbean Court of Justice? Anything else aside show? May I ask you about the court itself?
The court itself. I think if I know 10 years or a little more than that, I am not approve of that court yet.
Why?
And the reason why, there are people who are influenced. All of them went to school into the Caribbean and all.
You mean just like the local court of appeal?
Yeah,
but you said you would want a local court here. So what would be the difference?
I would prefer my one into my country. I would prefer my one.
No, but the arguments you just raised against the CCJ would apply to the same local court. So I don't.
And I agree with you, dear.
But
I won't fight you on that.
But
I doesn't trust a court inside the Caribbean.
Why?
Which PJ Patterson and Mark British Jefferson.
No, hold on. But wait, hold on.
Anything to do.
All right, so let's work that through. How is the president of the Court of Appeal in Jamaica appointed?
How is the court?
The president of the Court of Appeal. You know how the president is appointed?
Yes, both of them. Both the British man, Prime Minister. Agree with it.
Yes. So again, the same problem you have with you're trying to avoid with the CCJ.
I would prefer to have the court into my country.
Okay, so it just has to do with the location.
Let me ask another question then. If the CCJ
moved to Jamaica,
headquarters was in Jamaica, would you be okay with it?
I will have to give that a good thinking.
I think you should rethink the entire thing, Carl, and you will see how baseless it is.
I don't think so, Ricardo.
Do you know that a Jamaican, born Jamaican from St. Anne, is the current president of the CCJ?
And I agree with you.
Okay.
I know some relative of his.
Oh, okay.
And do you also know that the CCJ is often described as a traveling court because
it is a traveling court.
And I know.
Court is in Trinidad.
Meaning all of the judges them can pick up themselves and come to Kingston, downtown Kingston.
And I agree with, and it's just like our Ricardo and Sanjay. If you, hello?
Yeah, man, we're here.
Yes, we're here.
If you have a case in England, your lawyer can stay right on a laptop or a computer.
Yes.
And represent you right in England.
But here is the rub with that argument.
Yes.
If tomorrow, Keir Starmer, the British Prime Minister, and the Labour government decides that they're going to just abolish the Privy Council, Jamaica would have no say in that. Wouldn't that be something very awkward? If a foreign country, because you talk about foreigners and you talk about white men, if some white men could just decide that they're just going to just get rid of our final court and we just wouldn't have a say in that, wouldn't that be uncomfortable?
Yes, but Ricardo, if you decide to to phase out something, and the British man decides and don't want it to phase out, why the British man decide that and don't want to? The Jamaica people must have no say in it.
So it's not, the CCJ you have a problem with. You just somehow think that
referendum.
Mr. Golding is influencing or you don't like it because Mr. Patterson was one of the original architects?
You better be careful, Ricardo. You better be careful.
I see. All right, Carter, here.
Hold on there, Ricardo. Hold on. You think Mr. Charles could call us to a meeting in Southeast Clarendon and come to me and tell we say him decide that we must just move from England and nobody have a discussion with it? Mr. Charles Nelson couldn't bring that here. And me would be the first somebody to put up my hand that I want to discuss it with him.
So hold on then. So let's backtrack. So you're not against the CCJ. You just want for the Jamaican people to have a say
final appellate court. Say in leaving England, leaving Mr. Golden country.
Okay. So wait, can I ask a question?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, Carl, I have a question. So, if you had to choose between the Privy Council and the CCJ, which one would you choose? Because I heard your reasons for not wanting.
At the moment, I would prefer to stay. Can you invite Cartel when you move to your new headquarters and ask him out of the Privy Council and the Caribbean Court of Justice, which one would he prefer today?
But what evidence do you have that the CCJ wouldn't have made the same decision, Carl?
I don't know about the CCJ. I know about England.
So you preferring the Privy Council is based off of what you've seen them do, as opposed to what you don't know what the CCJ. You think?
No, but the CCJ has a track record. It has.
I don't know if the track record.
No, but that's the thing. No, but you have not informed yourself, Carl. You have not informed yourself.
Ricardo, don't tell Ricardo.
No, but you have not informed yourself.
Ricardo, I know
the
also
CCJ
a policeman who take a case. The policeman was done for hanging.
Carl.
And I know of the policeman take it to the Privy Council and was free. You could ask all.
No, but the CCJ equally.
Not sure about the CCJ.
No, but I'm assisting you because clearly you haven't informed yourself. The CCJ, which Mr. Siaga rather, accused of was going to be a hanging court, has not been a hanging court.
And I agree with you there.
Yes. So again,
what's the problem?
What is the issue you have?
The problem is from knowing the background of what I know about people who did help to set up that court, more than one of them, we must be very careful at anything. When I look,
I can't allow you to do that, Carl. It's a disservice to the public. The Caribbean, the arrangements of the Caribbean Court of Justice are not in how it is structured, influenced by any of the people who conceptualized it. Well, I am telling you it is so. But thank you for the call, Carl. I can't allow you to continue to mislead the public like that. Cleveland, good evening.
Oh, good evening to you both. You're three in our face, you know.
How are you?
I give thanks, you know. But let me tell you something. I'm so happy for you people.
Yes, we're happy too. We're happy too.
Because I've been.
Let me tell you something, Cleveland. Me ready from morning. Me want to move now. Me pack up everything already. I just been cheerful. Me put on my back now.
I'm in the struggle. Poor Cliff go through.
Yes.
With the bad mind.
All right.
Right, me know it. Don't never been born yet.
Yes.
He's probably right.
Right, me know it. Me know what them do with him. And Jesus Lord, praise God, him stand up on him foot.
Yes.
And he's able to move, go somewhere else. And I just wish him all the best.
And he might be hearing you. He might be hearing you.
Yes, man. Yeah, man. And trust me. Because me know the beat me ain't get. Me know it.
Yes.
Right? But then again, I have to congratulate you people. Sometimes I want to step on my can, but I still have to sit down and enjoy whatever I want to say. Because you right.
We step on your card, Cleveland.
Yeah. Yes, and right is the best.
Yeah.
And I thought I like that little young man. What's your name?
Mahiri.
Howdy.
Me don't know where you get your name from.
I wasn't there when they chose it, man. Sorry.
But I like how you fit in yourself.
He's amazing.
As a matter of fact, I like when everybody come in and them just fit in themselves. Yes. So that is showing you that things is good at the station and the whole.
Yes.
You know, not able to help each other to fit in yourself in the station. And I know we will continue to get stronger and stronger. I know a lot of people listen to you people overseas, you know. Because my daughter may be hearing me now talking. And I have my friend Maxie. Let me say my friend Maxie, not seen. But boy, him can go in bed and not listening to Nationwide. Name is in Palm Beach.
Okay. Hello, Maxie.
And Archer.
Hello, Archer.
Yes, he lives in that Orlando.
In Orlando. Hello, Archer in Orlando, Florida.
Yes, and some others. I can't name.
Big up all of Cleveland Massive. Anyone on the day that world.
Anyone on the day. You know. But read the JUTC bus and William telling you about.
I thought it had improved though. I know it was a problem, but I thought it had improved.
Hello, sir. Especially me who take 46 and we can take 47 from Harper Street to come up to Price Right. Man, you'd have drop asleep in the place there. Not a 46, not a 47. And I think something is wrong.
Yeah.
How they're sitting in the bus them.
Even
wrong.
with the new buses that they have rolled out, you're still seeing that extensive delay?
If I'm seeing them?
Yeah, you're still getting delays with the new buses?
Delays with the new buses?
Yes, man. I take them, man. I'm happy for them.
No. I'm asking if, since the rollout of the new buses, are you still experiencing that extensive delay that you're speaking about?
Yes. There, I don't know, but something is wrong. Suppose you get to the bus park, say 10 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
No bus no come all when 12 o'clock, you know.
What?
Me hope it changing, but trust me, it's just sometimes I run into get some luck to see one come. Right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. But at times they take long. Long. Even in the morning, you reach a Price Right at the bus stop there, say 8:30, 8:45 or so. Mm-hmm. You wait till their kingdom come.
Oh, wow.
Sometimes some of them come up and they go park somewhere. And when you think they're coming back and you may see them coming, then turn and face to go down to the foot of the hill, go back to the garage. Then come up with a sort of excuse.
47 years, because I'm on the website now, just looking at their
47 and 46.
Oh.
Because they all end up at Price Right. So if you're not for you can't take either of them. Right? But I think they need to look into the schedule of the bus and watch them. Because sometimes, personally, I think them sabotaging the system. I just believe so.
Because
them
based on what I'm
sabotaging the system.
Based on what I'm seeing on their website, you should have a bus at least every 30 minutes.
Oh boy, I wish that was so. So then can't take down that kind of, it's not working. It's not going so at all. May I tell you that straight up.
All right, Cleveland.
They need to send out some secret agent and watch the bus them, how them moving about.
Yeah.
All right, Cleveland.
And it's funny because this schedule was published on August 27 and it ends December 16, 2025.
All right, Mahiri, quickly give us your list and books them asking you to play Moving On Up to the, I think it's from the Jeffersons.
Yes.
All right, your list.
So I've compiled, what's it, 6 things? 6 things I love, either moments or things. The first thing, one personal moment for me is when I did this, I went to a JTA conference.
That was when it was at Michael.
Yeah, when they were voting,
Yes. You did very well on that assignment. Yeah.
So when I came back the next day, we were having general meeting in the middle of the newsroom.
Right.
Cliff, that was the first assignment I did since coming to Nationwide that Cliff took the time out to say. Yeah.
You angle it.
Right.
You did angle it for true.
Yeah. So that's number one. The second one is when we pranked Cliff and told him it was his birthday when it wasn't.
Oh, we should have had a video for playing.
Yeah, that would be nice. But the die-hard Nationwide people know exactly what we're talking about. George decided, you know what?
Yeah.
Go and prank Cliff today.
For
no reason.
And in there one day for actually in birthday.
Yeah. For a split second, he actually was like, oh, it could be. Oh, another thing I'm going to miss about Bradley is when we're in the middle of the newsroom watching. I have World Cup and Olympics here, but just stuff in general.
Yes.
Sometimes it's Parliament. Sometimes
on the big screen TVs.
Sports. Yes. Yeah, when we all just congregate. Sometimes in meetings, George used to make us watch like old footage of things happening in Jamaica for us to get like extra context. That was something I loved as well. I'm gonna miss Dana running through the hallways, hectic all like that, because she trying to get the show ready, and sometimes things aren't going according to plan. She got to be going between the newsroom.
Yes.
Yeah, just the hallways. The hallways can be a funny place sometimes, not just Dana, but in general. I'm probably gonna miss this studio as well. This is the first place I ever came in to like read news live. So obviously I'm gonna miss this place.
Yeah.
I'm gonna miss upstairs too, man. I liked going upstairs and talking to the the sales people all the time, tell them good morning and get my cup and then going back downstairs. Yeah, man. I love that about Bradley. I'm gonna miss this. It's a clubhouse, man. Okay. Bradley Avenue was our clubhouse. I'm gonna miss it.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
All right.
But now we're moving on up.
Yeah, them say one Bradley.
Never seven.
Never seven. Hey. 6 Bradley. Sorry.
6 Bradley Avenue, never seven.
Never 7.
Yeah.
Well, listeners, this is the final episode of Nationwide at 5 from this location. When you hear us again for Nationwide at 5, it will be Tuesday. And we will be at Ocean Boulevard in downtown Kingston, our new location. So on behalf of our producer, Dana Davey, Andrew Glenn, and Bugs, my understand saying, you know, look at me, can't see you through the glass. You know? Oh, no, the fancy studio. I can see you on Scream. I can see you on TV Scream. Our colleagues in the newsroom, thank you all so much. And all of your YouTubers, thank you. Miss Una Kos say, what should I move Saturday so could I get news tomorrow? The news will be posted online. So still, I'm going to get the news. Alfie is asking me, what am I going to miss? I think I would agree. I'm going to miss the gathering in the middle of the newsroom.
The huddling.
And the noise. We make a lot of noise.
The noise isn't going anywhere.
Because we still are going to make noise.
You still are going to make noise.
That's for sure.
We're going to hear it.
All right. Moving on up. I'm Ricardo Brooks.
And my name is Sanjay Lewis. Wishing for you a wonderful evening.
Good evening.
Where we're moving on.